That was weird. It glitched and it sped up to me. Did you hear that, Paul?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
And then the song sped up.
Yeah, that happens. That
And
happens
Johnny's late.
a lot.
Hey.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, everybody. I had to grab my pizza out of the oven.
Nice.
Oh, I have Taco Bell that I ordered earlier today and put in the refrigerator, knowing that I would get the munchies later on.
Oh, I thought you meant Treat Stream Taco Bell.
No, fuck Treat Stream. Are they paying us? Are they paying us? Because we've been swinging from their nipple for the past 4 weeks and got nothing for it. So they can eat my ass.
Yeah.
Wow. John, did you welcome everybody?
Welcome, everybody.
Eat my ass. Welcome.
It's your show.
Sure. Well, I'm happy to be here on Straturday night with a bunch of like-minded individuals. Like yourself.
This is going to sound weird. This is the first Straturday Night Live in a world without Edward Van Halen.
That's right.
Literally. For all of the time you've been doing this show long before I got involved, and then all of the time I've been involved, one of the major speculations that we would have during this 3-hour period, and sometimes 4-hour period, and on New Year's 9-hour period, and on Tuesday 8.5-hour period, is what would be the future of Van Halen. And we don't talk about that anymore. We can't talk about that anymore. That is the weird reality that we're in right now.
Well,
and I'm not trying to bring the show down.
Clarify that as new Van Halen. There won't be any new Van Halen. There may be
Van Halen is
new material that we've never heard, which might be
Van Halen doesn't exist. Van Halen exists the way Led Zeppelin exists.
I understand. Yes, I understand that. Yeah, Van Halen does not exist as an entity, right?
That is a horrible thing.
It's only in Irving Azoff's planning book, whatever it is, that's where it exists.
And for those people that don't know, we'll give you the quick update. The Van Halen library and estate will be curated by his brother Alex and his son Wolfgang. And EVH Gear will continue as a brand with Fender, and Wolfgang Van Halen now becomes the CEO along with Matt Bruck, who's Eddie's longtime guitar tech and was already an assistant to Edward as far as development and relations with the EVH, with the company anyway. Yeah. So, if you love the amps and you love the guitars, they're still going to be there. And that's going to be the enduring legacy of Edward Van Halen, kind of the way Les Paul guitars are still the enduring legacy of the great Les Paul. Eddie Van Halen he's now a myth. He's a legend. He's immediately a saint. He's gone on to mythic proportions. We can now say we were the last generation of people that saw him. That can explain, like those people, like our parents would talk about Jimi Hendrix. Oh, you never saw Jimi Hendrix. You can't imagine what it was like to see Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
We'll now be able the ones to tell that story to people moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird. It's very strange, but you got to keep rocking,
Well, I think if anything's come out of this, the universal love for that man and for what he did, his music, their music, just out of every corner of every place on the globe, somebody's was touched by Ed, which is
what was
it
really
says so much about the man, it's just crazy.
It's weird to hear the different people that have been affected by this. Like, obviously Gene Simmons put out his video, his little Twitter video or Instagram video, and he was visibly upset. I don't know if anybody heard LL Cool J, but LL Cool J did a song with Fitz and the Tantrums and Eddie Van Halen. It was a guitar solo that Eddie Van Halen laid into a song with LL Cool J a couple of years ago.
Was it a new one?
Yeah, and LL Cool J
they did two songs. He did two songs on LL Cool J's. I think it was called Authentic.
Yeah, and that's
in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, something like that.
But
2012.
Was it?
That
recent? Okay.
Yeah.
But listening to LL Cool J, LL Cool J was almost in tears. And you think to yourself, well, how does Eddie cross over to that world? And he did. And Patton Oswalt, the comedian, also visibly, noticeably upset. Something about Edward Van Halen was, as I put up in a post on Facebook, he represented all of us. He was like that kid we all knew and we all liked. They're like, it was like the kid that lived down the street. Oh, you mean the little Van Halen kid, the kid with the cute smile. Remember that kid? Well, he plays guitar. He literally is the real embodiment of the character that Tommy McLaughlin played in The Audience is Listening from Steve Vai.
Little
Eddie Van Halen was that kid that we all loved, and he crossed over to everybody, which is why when he would show up on Valerie Bertinelli's TV shows, or when he showed up on Friends, the whole place would go nuts. He was universally admired. It's really interesting.
Yeah. He was worldwide known, as far as the guitar and music, but he was very important to L.A. as well. Now,
is that where all those billboards are? Is in L.A.?
His community.
They're all over.
I think they're all over the country.
Here, even around here, there's.
I didn't see one here.
Well, you live in
I'll find
Phoenix,
one.
Phoenix
I'll find
but you would think Fender has an office here. EVH's corporate offices are here in Phoenix, so I would think
I have the whole
something.
I actually saved them all. So I think it was somebody put it on Facebook.
Can you show one?
Oh yeah,
I've seen them, but
in the chat, Zoe Buttercup actually says, "Interesting. Eddie Van Halen had an amazing upbringing. It wasn't amazing. It was actually very tragic and very, very dysfunctional. And he succeeded in spite of that. I mean, they had a really tough time. The Van Halens coming to the United States when they did.
I guess you can see it. Nobody texted me.
So those are all real.
Yes.
As far as I can tell, yeah. I mean,
oh, look at that.
There's dozens of them. There's dozens of them. I mean,
the Rialto Theater in Tucson also put it up on the marquee as well. I love that.
The sky. Uh-oh. Hey.
Oh.
That was Jay.
Of course it is.
Jay said the F word.
Uh-oh. Yeah. It keeps going. I mean, where else? Some of them you can't really tell. That's like a looks like bridge or something. Forum. Oh, the forum. And then it says, rest in peace.
Gotcha, Jay says.
Anyway.
That's fine.
No, they are cool. I mean, that's a very cool thing to watch the world. I mean, there aren't many people. Like the last time that happened was when Kobe died. That was the last time across the nation there was a reaction. So think about that. Eddie Van Halen amongst and it's funny because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Somebody posted when I had mentioned that, Van Halen, although they're one of the greatest selling rock bands of all time,
whiskey,
are not as big as we think of them as, because we live in this bubble of Van Halen.
This was the one in Massachusetts, anyway.
Insane.
Area. I can't see what it says. I can't.
And then on Tuesday, that bubble burst, and now everybody is sad.
Yeah, and it goes on and on. Sweetwater. This is from Sweetwater in front of their headquarters. What's this? I don't know. Goes on and on.
Still very surreal, very weird to think of a summer without Van Halen. Like, we were for those that don't know, they were that close to doing a reunion tour, stadium tour. It was great to watch the game on Thursday night football. Fox played nothing but Van Halen and AC/DC. Now, obviously the AC/DC one was because they've got a new album coming out and they paid to be part of the show. And that was scheduled long in advance they were going to be interviewed the next morning on Good Morning Football. But all of the music that they used to go back and forth through commercials was Van Halen music, which I thought was, and they did that too when Tom Petty died. All the networks played Tom Petty music going back and forth. So they know their audience, I mean, I don't know how many times you go to a football game or a baseball game or a hockey game, and you don't hear Van Halen in between plays.
That's the argument I always have with kids that I talk to who in like middle school, and they're listening to hip hop and stuff like that. I'm like, go to a hockey game, go to a football game, go to a baseball game, or you've heard these songs while watching these events and stuff like that. So it's like, that's the stuff that pumps you up, and it's the best music that I can think of, and just trying to get younger kids to understand it.
Well, I love that quote. I don't know how legitimate it is, but that quote from Gene Simmons saying you should take every millennial or Gen Zer and grab them around the throat and shake them until they hear Eddie Van Halen or something to that effect. I don't know how legitimate that quote is, but let's face it, Gene saw it early. They would have been big anyway. But it was pretty undeniable. The band was, if you go back and listen to their club days and all those club songs when they were doing covers of obscure Zeppelin songs and Rick Derringer songs and ZZ Top songs and all that stuff, they were good. They a lot like the Beatles, and I'm not saying they're certainly in that category with the Beatles, but a lot like the Beatles, they put their time in. And you don't get good unless you pay your dues, unless you go out and woodshed. And let's face it, those guys banged around the clubs in LA and Southern California, the outskirts of LA for a long time, for almost 4 years before we heard their first record. So they had plenty of time to get seasoned.
Yeah. They did their time in the clubs and all over the California, LA area, Pasadena. Legendary stories. I mean, we've all heard the backyard parties, all that stuff.
Right.
Before they had even ever been played on the radio or ever been in a studio, that when they were playing for 1,000+ people and up at a party, and playing those songs, the Zeppelin covers, the Black Sabbath covers, all that.
They did the same thing that Guns N' Roses did. They got so big you couldn't deny them. Those backyard parties and stuff. And this happened to, and I'm certainly not putting them in the same category, but this happened to Kid Rock up in Detroit. Kid Rock would be doing these parties, these independent parties, and there'd be thousands of people showing up, and no record label is going to sit back and go, well, shit, why wouldn't we want to take advantage of that? And Van Halen got to that point where the snowball got so big that somebody had to jump on and say, hey, we better grab this. And the interesting thing is, and I think we've told this story before, they had an opportunity to be on A&M Records, but A&M Records had signed Billy Squier's band. And, back in those days, you signed one rock band every quarter or every year. And they signed a band called Piper that Billy Squier was in and said, well, we've signed this band with the guy that we think is the American Robert Plant. They're going to be huge. And Piper are a footnote. The most notable thing about Piper, outside of Billy Squier being their lead vocalist, is that they were the band that C-blocked A&M Records from signing Van Halen.
They're the band in that story.
Yeah.
That's the only way I know about Piper is because of that
Piper
story.
Song.
Yeah.
Now I have the records. I have the Piper records. I know that'll shock you. That'll shock you.
You have the archive. You've got everything they've ever recorded, but
yeah, I do actually.
We know you, Paul. If I'm ever looking for a Piper deep track, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I've got it. It was tough to find, but I got it. But yeah, nobody gives a shit about that band. Nobody cares.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all hindsight, that at that time, some executives saw Piper and thought it was going to be the best thing. They had something unique, whatever it was. We will never really know. I mean,
well, I mean, they had a couple of really good songs, but who cares?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if I can go back and listen to the record and go, wow, this is a pretty good record. Is it better than Van Halen? Fuck no.
Right.
But it's pretty good. For 1976,
you go back and listen to some of the club stuff that Van Halen was doing at that time in '76 and stuff, and unless you're there and you're in the crowd where it's an event, the stuff you're hearing are an executive is just going to hear the same covers, or they're just going to hear a rock song, or they're going to hear the up tempo song or the blues song. That's what they're going to hear, and they're going to say, okay, this has been done before.
Yeah, but you know what? There's something to be said for even a cover band. Like, if you see a cover band, all right, and they're out there and they're playing and they're ripping songs up, and they've got a great guitar player, you notice that. If they've got a great singer, a guy that great front man because let's face it, Dave has never been a great singer per se. But if they've got a guy that engages the crowd and that gets a reaction from the crowd, that gets that connection, because music
And
is a
that
very
was the whole
visceral
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you say to yourself, okay, these guys are pretty good. They know how to perform. They've clearly got the chops to get somebody. Can we get them to write a song? Can they write a song? And then you go back and you listen to some of those early demos and you go, well, shit, there was something there.
Right. And I mean, you had to see them live to understand it at all in 1976. And then, you know, but the stuff that the executives are looking for, I mean, a band that's great live doesn't necessarily translate into a studio. And that's, I think, why Gene Simmons' project failed with them. You know, he didn't get them signed because of that project. Shortly after, we all know, but
well, Gene didn't, he clearly, those songs, the demos that they recorded, there was something there, but they were incomplete.
Oh, absolutely.
They needed somebody that could devote the time to arrange those songs.
That's just,
and give them that polish.
It was 90% there.
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ted Templeman was really made a huge. Ted and Don Landy made a huge difference when they recorded that first record, because when you listen to those Gene Simmons demos, it's Van Halen, it's great, and I don't know if Eddie was even tapping then, or something's different about the way he was playing.
He was reserved. He wasn't playing to his full potential, and
they sounded like Kiss, is what they sounded like.
And they sounded tentative. I mean, let's face it. You're still trying to find who you are.
Right.
And you're scared, and you don't know, like when you're recording these demos, you don't know. So Templeman is in the studio going, man, give me more. Like that's what Mutt Lang, and that's what
who else would take the risk to put Eruption on that album? I mean, just a solo that he's just been playing for, just an improv that he's been playing for a long time live. Right. And he's like, that's got to go on the album. And it's what a unique piece to put on, a first album, let alone
that was
album from the 70s.
That was a great first introduction to Edward Van Halen to the world, was that track.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they have the tunes. They have the songs as well.
Right. And it wasn't just the playing, though. It was the tone and the sound. Nobody had ever heard a guitar sound like that. The closest thing that you could say was Joe Walsh when he was in the James Gang. He had a similar, that flangey sort of distorted sound. If you go back and you listen to the end of Walk Away and the amount of whammy bar abuse that he's doing on that song and the way the pinch harmonics and that tone, you can hear a lot of Joe Walsh. That was the only guitar player that had sort of that same sound as Eddie Van Halen. Eddie took it to another level sonically and with his dexterity, and you just kind of go, all right, so now you've got something this guy can obviously play. And there were guys that could play better than Eddie Van Halen back then. I mean, you got Steve Howe and Richie Blackmore. I mean, we can go on Ted Nugent and all that stuff. But it was not only just the technique, but it was the technique and the sound. It was something we'd never heard before, much less seen. Nobody played guitar like a piano back then.
That's what people thought the tapping part was. They thought it was a keyboard.
Right.
But also Van Halen had the songs. That's the other big thing. Right. Those other bands you mentioned, I could care less about anything they've done. I heard it actually on the radio. I was driving around the other day and I heard a Ted Nugent song on the radio, and I didn't know who it was. I'm like, this is just some cheesy 70s something or other. And then I realized it was Ted Nugent, and I'm like, it's not. It's like, compare that to Van Halen's version of Atomic
anything
Punk
on Van
or
Halen
anything,
1.
And it just blows that away.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Ted Nugent's two biggest songs are "Stranglehold" and "Cat Scratch Fever." "Cat Scratch Fever" is the closest thing to what Van Halen did, and it's not the same. It's just not the same. You put them, you A/B them next to each other, and you go, Ted Nugent and Peter Frampton and Ace Frehley were considered the big hotshot guitar heroes in 1976. Jimmy Page was off the radar for the most part. Remember, Zeppelin was in exile, and they hadn't put out. They put out Presence, which was considered a disappointment at that point. Aerosmith hadn't quite peaked to that point. They were 1975, 1976. You had Toys in the Attic, but you weren't looking at that as being this. They were basically the American Rolling Stones. They weren't guitar heroes. Joe Perry, as good as he is,
they were monstrous at the end of the 70s. But you're right. He wasn't a guitar hero. Joe Perry.
He wasn't a guitar hero at that time. So the biggest guitar players in the world at that time were probably in this order: Ace Frehley, Ted Nugent, Peter Frampton. Those were the three big guys. Frampton Comes Alive, the first Ted Nugent record, solo record. and Kiss, Alive, Alive 2, Destroyer, all those records. So all of a sudden, this guy comes out that does something that's just leaps and bounds ahead of this of what the big guys are. Oh, and Steve Miller. Steve Miller was also massive at that time. And Eddie Van Halen just comes in and kicks all of them and square in the groin.
Yeah.
And they opened for all those people, after their first album. Ed and Van Halen opened for Ted Nugent, for Aerosmith. I mean, on their first, 78, 79, when they were doing those Day on the Green and stuff like that, they were, opening for Sammy Hagar, opening for everybody. Journey, and it went up from there.
Oh yeah. They overnight they
and everybody. I mean, they wanted them on every festival bill, and everything, all the summer festivals in 78, 79. I mean, you look at their
well, they were touring
the tour dates from that era were
non-stop.
Yeah,
as they would release a record, what, every year, every 2 years?
Every year with Dave, except
at first,
for
every
83.
year, and then they would release a record, every year, and then they would tour for probably most of that year.
Yep.
Tour the world.
At least 6 months, yeah. I mean,
a lot of those.
A lot of time more. I mean,
10 months. They would do like 10-month tours.
I mean, that was their schedule was a tour, maybe holidays off, into the studio, next album, promotion, tour, have the holidays off, have 4th of July off, or actually, you never had 4th of July off as a rock star. But
interesting. People were talking about guitar heroes at the time. They were trying to, mention other guys like Blackmore and people that were big at the time in the mid 70s. And Bent Tom brings up Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck has always been a name drop guitar player. He's name 3 Jeff Beck songs.
Right. There's
Freeway
not a Jeff Beck hit. Is there? Did he ever have his hit?
Freeway
Top
Jam
10?
is the closest thing. Freeway Jam is the closest thing to a hit that Jeff Beck has ever had. Jeff Beck is famous for having been in the Yardbirds and famous for having been the Jeff Beck, group with Rod Stewart, his first, Rod Stewart's first band. But Jeff Beck was never a household name. Ted Nugent was a household name. Peter Frampton was the biggest name in music in 1976. That Frampton Comes Alive record was, everybody owned it. It was almost, and I hate to say this because it sounds blasphemous when you say it, but it was Sgt. Pepper big. It was Joshua Tree big, Born in the USA big, 1984 big. That's how big Frampton Comes Alive was in its day. And to have
watch the scene in Dazed and Confused. I mean, they referenced that album several times.
Yeah, I mean, it was massive. But Peter Frampton can't touch Eddie Van Halen as a player,
right?
And
he'd admit it himself, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They all would.
And you talk about, somebody asked me about Boston. The first Boston album was great, but not a Guitar Hero record. A phenomenal record.
Not many people can name the guitar player or
exactly
the guitarist in Boston.
I mean, we all know because we're nerds, but that Boston album, song for song, that Boston album, next to Van Halen 1, next to the Cars' first album, and next to Appetite for Destruction. Those are maybe the four greatest debut albums of all time. And you can slot them in whatever way you want for your preferences. But that Boston album is untouchable, that first one. And the Cars' debut album is the same way. Van Halen 1 is similar to that. And Appetite for Destruction. Those are the big rock debut albums. There are no bands that have debut albums like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you play those songs every day.
Every day. If we're doing a 5-hour show, you'll hear a song from one of those albums probably every 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's just, I mean, they're that big. And the funny thing about it is, and a lot like Van Halen, you could be playing You Really Got Me right now on the radio, and I'll pick up the phone and go, "Hey, what's up? It's Mark in the Interpol. What's going on? Can you play You Really Got Me? We're playing it right now. Can you play it again?" Yeah, we can. We can play it again, and we will.
Couple hours.
Yep. And the great thing about those songs is they will go on forever. Like 30 years from now, nobody is going to be talking about the greatness of the guitar players from Ghost. Nobody's going to be talking about Dan Donegan from Disturbed. Nobody's going to be talking about Jim Root from Slipknot. Those bands might be having their moment right now. Who's the lead guitar player in Godsmack? Who gives a shit?
Zombie.
No, that's my point. Those nobody gives a shit.
Sully plays guitar. Sully
But who's the lead guitar player? Who's the lead guitar player in Nickelback? Biggest band in the past 20 years. Who's the lead guitar player?
I don't know anybody from that.
Who are the lead guitar players in Iron Maiden?
Oh man,
Adrian.
we probably should know that, huh?
You'll know him.
Adrian Smith, and
I can point them out.
man, I should
don't
know
the
this.
names,
Steve Harris is a lead bass player.
See, that's the point. You can name more people from Iron Maiden than you can for Nickelback, and Nickelback has had more hits. And Nickelback has had more hits than Iron Maiden will ever have. And that's the point, is those bands, there's something that resonates with those bands. Edward Van
Dave
Halen.
Martin.
Yes, you looked it up. Edward Van Halen has something that transcends. He'll always be, we were saying this on the air, in the Mount Rushmore of guitar players, one cornerstone is Jimi Hendrix. The other cornerstone is Edward Van Halen. And everything in the middle is up for grabs. But those two are the front corners. You can't, those are the undeniable two.
Yeah.
The two most
legacy's gonna hold too.
The two most important guitar players in the history of rock guitar, Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, and put them in whatever order you want. Everybody says that Eddie Van Halen is the most important guitar player in guitar history since Jimi Hendrix, and so you would have to put Jimi Hendrix at number one with Eddie right there next to him, and then everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And it's sad because it'd be Hendrix was the first guitar hero, Eddie was the last real guitar hero.
Wow.
And
yeah, I would say Eddie is the last one that everybody can name. Like you say Eddie Van Halen and everybody knows who you're talking about.
Right.
You know, we all talk about Joe Satriani's a great guitar hero, Stevie Ray Vaughan's a great guitar hero. You know, some people would say Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Joe Bonamassa, whatever name drop you want to put in there. But when you say Eddie Van Halen, everybody goes, "Oh, I know who that is." They may not even have ever heard his music, but they know who it is.
Yeah.
They know the name.
And Slash is getting to that point, but Slash is not. If you say Slash, people go, "What are you talking about?" You say Van Halen, they go, "Oh, the guitar player."
Right.
Everybody knows. You just say Van Halen, and they know what it is. You say Slash.
The first thing that comes to mind, right there. You know, it's like that image or the smile. You know,
everybody doesn't know Slash 802 Blues. They don't. Everybody doesn't know Slash.
Yeah.
No, not like no. As far as guitar heroes go, and Slash is great. You know,
phenomenal.
Stop saying that.
But not a household name. You can't mention Slash to your mom and have her go, "Oh yeah, I know who that is."
Well, I can.
Well, your mom is cool.
Yeah, she was always a big Axl Rose fan. You know,
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's man, it's craziness.
Yep. And it's still sinking in too, you know.
Interesting to see how many people are affected by it, you know, guitar players and musicians and actors and everybody like that, and how they're all saying it's still sinking in.
Yeah. I kept saying it all week. It's the love pouring in for Ed, you know, just so much love pouring in, you know, from everywhere for Edward. And for Jay Hannon as well.
Yes. We all love Jay.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been listening.
Sorry, I wasn't looking. I'm getting messages and
I'm not looking either. Can't see very much right now. It's all
a blur.
Foggy. It's really foggy right now.
I need more beers. I'm already 2 in.
Oh my!
30 seconds in, half hour in, I'm 2 beers in. I need more beer.
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
Go take
it. Be a fun show.
Yeah, it might not last very long on my end, but
if I'm doing 2 beers a half hour and this show is 3 hours long,
3 hours.
that's 12. That's a 12 pack in 3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're right.
That's
Can't do
easy.
math.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I came in and just shut the show down.
Yeah, way to go. You're like the cooler.
Man, usually, I try to find the right spot to come in when it kind of dies for a second.
Well, let's say hi to the chat. We haven't said hi to the chat yet.
Yeah. And real quickly, Neanderthal, before you leave, Phil Hendry just sent me a message.
Oh, cool. Please
Yeah,
say
he's
hello to Phil for me.
I will. He's asking me how my dog dealt with the wheelchair that he used to use. Because he's looking into one of those
Oh, okay.
for a
Phil
dog.
Phil needs to be. Oh, okay. Like
For a dog.
I've got one of those
Oh,
in my garage for the hind legs
Mm-hmm.
when they have hip problems and shit. Yeah, I've got one of those for my old German Shepherd that has passed. I got those. I was worried about putting that on his back legs and having him run around the pool and having one of the wheels slip off and him fucking ended up in the pool. So I never put it on him. I ended up putting a sling with a handle on it and walking around with him holding the handle like he was luggage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We did that with Howie. When Howie would get too tired, you would hold it and you would help guide him along. And then what we did after Howie passed away is we actually donated that wheelchair to somebody else that needed one. They were looking one.
Oh, sure, yeah.
We just gave it to him.
Nice.
Well, I hung on to it because I have a sneaking suspicion that some point 10 years down the road, this asshole is going to need it. Hi, buddy. Yes, I will put you in a wheelchair. Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Oh. And they love them too. They love them because they can still run around.
I've seen the videos of them, Howie's videos too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because animals don't think like us. They don't have the "woe is me" mentality.
They're just
Right.
ready for people
Dogs
to
are
run around.
They're
All
not
right, cool.
embarrassed.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, animals don't. They
We
don't
all
give a
need to
shit.
live like that.
Animals don't feel
Good
sorry
example.
for themselves.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
So who do we got? Who do we got here? We got
I'm going to grab a beer. I'll be right back.
Kevin Coachell is here, Linnea Lou and Mary, Kurt S5150, Brian Spalding, Halen Fanatic is here, Mr. Hailstorm 74. Yeah, we're live on YouTube and Facebook, by the way. Yeah, on Facebook, the one and only Kurt Jeffries. Dude, you're tuning into like every show, man.
Yeah, Kurt's
I
been
appreciate that, dude.
seen his name several times this week.
Kurt Jeffries, yeah, he was Van Halen's Lost Weekend winner in 1984. The guy that got the cake in the face on stage in Detroit. That's him.
And then wasn't allowed to move from his spot until he shotgunned or chugged a beer that Alex gave him. That's a pretty funny story that he told last night. Oh, put it in the chat. Now I'm blurry. I got the Johnny Beane camera now.
Oh man. Well, Kurt, you have to come back on soon, man. Let's plan something.
Yeah, definitely.
802 Blues, Zoe Buttercup, Ted Sanchez, Christopher
Yaleskis.
Vistolite 1972, Riley Morgan. We got 126 watching. We're live within the Van Halen 1978 to 1984 Facebook group as well. The past few streams we've been live in there.
I can hear
And
the
I
echo of it.
And I figure we'll just go live. You know, we'll just be live in there because people are obviously watching. A lot of people here that are watching right now are in there. I can see that.
Welcome, everyone.
Santa Cruz, 3600 to Beane JR, Janice Lala. Wow, a lot of people. Steve Carmichael. Did you guys see the picture of the two guys showing Ed some speakers? There was a red, white, and black striped Bluetooth speaker with a bridge, partial fretboard, and strings as the grill. Steve sent me the picture. I guess I can show it.
Steve Carmichael?
Steve Carmichael. Yeah, Steve Carmichael, who by the way is a channel member. That's why he has a little guitar next to his name on Facebook. Let me see. Is he? Oh yeah, he's one of the executive producers, like Charles Green, Joe Christian, Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Labs, Mike Neese, Michael Smith, David Ennis, And Steve Carmichael.
Who?
Steve Carmichael of the Carmichael Workshop.com.
Mike Steve Michael. Car Steve Michael.
So wait, this is like a whole thing? Look at this. Who released this? I'm assuming like the company or the there's a lot of stuff coming out now. A lot of things.
Oh wow.
Look at that. It's like a Bluetooth speaker or something.
Whoa.
They almost look. Are they studio monitors or?
The red and the red and black and the black and silver. Those look like a monitor, but it looks like a boombox amplifier almost. It's weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. Is it? So are those going to be? Was he just prototyping those, or are they going to be official EVH at some point? Or that'd be cool. I mean,
I'm assuming that's like some sort of prototype. Something.
Yeah, maybe like, hey, we've got a bunch of ideas for X. What do you think of these? And then let's stand behind them, so it seems like we're actually checking them out.
Yeah, they look like prototypes.
Publicity, publicity picture.
Wow.
Those monitors are cool, man. Anybody want to paint my Atom A7Xs like that? It's awesome. Shit.
Whoa! Oh, watch out for that.
Oh, what happened?
I just said the thump. The thump was great.
Yeah, that was,
I heard something.
it sounded like something fizzed out.
No.
The thump was awesome. Shit.
Oh, man.
Whoops. What's interesting is the small amp thing is becoming a big deal. Like, 5-watt heads and being able to drive a huge 4x12 with a 5-watt amp. That goes back to the Billy Gibbons concept when he would use those old Marshall Lead 12 micro stack heads to preamp through. That would become his preamp, and he would drive the piss out of those.
Wow.
So it's almost like he was way ahead of the curve back in the 80s doing that. Now that small amp head thing.
Well,
I played through some of those 5-watt, 10-watt Hughes and Kettner amps that are just friggin' phenomenal sounding.
Even that was part of Ed's sound too when he took the Variac, and he had a super loud Marshall, stack 100. What was it? 100. The plexis were 100 watts.
Yeah,
but 100 watts in Marshall was like a 500 watt amp. I mean, it blew. If you read the whichever book it was, the Monk book, and he talks about why he went into the Variac, because it was so loud. He had to turn the knobs all to 10 to get his sound, and all the knobs on 10 with a 12-inch speakers will blow your head off. So then you got the Variac to turn that output down, but still have those tubes and everything working at full capacity. At least that's the way I understand it.
Well, I will tell you.
You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, here's the thing. In order to get that massive sound, you have to be able to drive that head. And to drive that head, you've got to have massive volume. And to have massive volume in a Marshall stack, and I have a full stack in the other room, you can't really drive. Just like I have an EVH half stack in the other room, and Jay would be able to
Can you wheel that in? It'd be nice to see that.
Yeah, I can wheel it in. We've used it before, and Caleb will tell you, you can't drive one of those half stacks or full stacks in a small room.
It's like driving
without hurting people.
No,
right? You know what I mean? You hurt your ears.
Yeah, it's. Wait, what was the question?
We're talking about
why Eddie used the Variac to try and get that sound.
Oh, yeah, because
you got to reduce your output.
What microphone are you using? What microphone are you using?
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it, Tone Nazi?
It sounds all right.
It just got dark in here.
Is this better?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your lips are out of sync though.
No, that's Johnny.
95.5 kilowatts.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah, no, he liked to turn his amps all the way up. Everybody knows that, and he couldn't do that in a lot of rooms because they wouldn't hear Alex.
Yep.
They hear anything. ever
Was
again.
it Caleb? Was it you the one that posted the quote from David Lee Roth that we didn't name the band after Eddie, we named it after Alex?
Oh no, I never saw that.
Yeah, it was a alleged David Lee Roth quote. We didn't name it after Ed. We named it after Al.
Did you guys? Oh, go ahead.
Happy birthday, David Lee Roth, by the way.
Speaking of those old Marshalls,
Happy birthday, Dave.
Cameron Brown's uncle has was it 71 maybe Marshall or
Super
something
Lead?
like that.
Yeah.
And he loaned it to Cameron, and Cameron obviously, you can't put that thing to 10 in your bedroom. You know what I mean? The walls will come crashing down. The bed will be in the other room.
I mean, in the 80s, 100 watts was loud.
I'm
but
not done telling.
I know
the
you're not
story.
done. I'm just saying the Marshall 100 watt is crazy.
I love high as fuck, Jay.
So Sir sent him a reactive load box, and with that, basically, you can turn your amp to 10, and then the output of the reactive load, you can turn it down. So you can really drive your amp, drive the tubes, and get that tone, and have it at a bedroom volume. And he sent me clips of him like recording his amp, and I'm like, holy crap, that sounds amazing. He's like, dude, the amp cranked all the way to 10 like they do in all the movies, and it really sounds amazing. But like I said, if you want to do that with one of those amps, in the privacy of your own neighborhood, you got to get something that you can plug the head into.
Yeah.
Turn it down literally, and then plug that into your cab, and you'll get, except obviously for the speakers doing this, you don't get as much speaker movement or air movement, but oh, well then, Ben Tom, it's not a 71 then. Maybe it's a 69, 70, 72. I don't know.
Jay, you're incorrect.
220, 221, whatever it takes.
That's right, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Hello.
I bet Jay doesn't get the reference.
No, he doesn't. No.
But that's funny.
Oh, okay.
Without a reference, it's funny.
Just the name Michael Keaton is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bent. Thank you, man.
And the name Alex Keaton is funny.
or never mind.
Keaton bun.
Hey, Michael
Wow.
Smith,
Yeah.
Captain, how you doing tonight?
Good. How's everybody doing?
I waited for you, Captain.
Me too.
Oh,
Me too.
Cap.
Me,
All right.
me too.
It'll be an unboxing
Look at
party.
this.
Look at that.
Oh,
I
What did you
waited
guys get?
too.
What did you guys
I don't know.
get?
I have
what
no
did you
idea.
get? What did you get?
We all got Santa Claus came early.
There's one surprise though.
Ooh.
There's a surprise inside the envelope.
Yeah, if you listen real close, one of them's ticking.
Is it right? I was going to say, is it ricin?
Oh,
It's not me.
One of them
You said-
has $100 bill, and it's this one.
Wow.
Let me
Okay.
see. Let me-
It's anthrax. Yay!
No.
Wait. If you squeeze mine,
whoa.
Oh,
When'd you open it up?
thanks for the whoopee cushion, Mike.
by the way, did you pay for all of this shipping? Because I'm doing the multiplication right now, and I'm like, wow, all right. The captain really cares. He paid for the shirts and for the shipping.
You know how much overtime he's worked in the past few weeks not coming on the show?
How much was your shipping?
That's the
Good
way.
point.
That's the way Jay says you're welcome, Captain.
Oh, I know. I'm used to it.
Mine was four.
No,
Uh-oh.
No. It was just, I was just showing the tag.
Yeah. Well, don't show that top part.
Yeah, people can scan it.
That top part you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Mine was $4.75.
Man.
Why? All it says is what post office it came from. You mean this part right here?
I don't
want to show that part.
No, that's the part you want to
That's
show.
the part you don't want to show.
That's the part you don't want to show either.
They're the top part. The
You can-
Oh,
Why
don't
can't you
wanna
show this part?
well, no, the opposite side.
No,
The
that-
opposite
that
part.
part-
I wasn't showing that side.
What are we doing?
I'm opening it.
Yeah, but
I didn't show this. This side right there was not shown. My
Hey,
side.
I opened mine already.
Oh, it's $5.40. It says it right there.
I know.
Oh,
mine was
yours
cheaper.
doesn't say it.
All
Mine
right.
was
No, 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 mine
$4.
doesn't.
You
What
guys,
does it
you
say?
guys
you
didn't
haven't-
open yours? You guys didn't open yours?
No,
Oh, shit. Oh. Sorry, Mike.
mine was
Thanks a lot,
$4.80.
Caleb. It's like liar's poker.
Sorry, I just had to see my image. I'm sorry. I just had to make sure it was okay.
Go over with a fine-tooth comb. Yeah,
You know,
one.
I'm gonna give you notes.
Hey, why is my shirt pink?
Who are these
That's
guys?
awesome.
What is
Hey,
this?
by the way, does everyone have a drink?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Everyone
Wait. I'm looking.
Hold on.
It's almost accurate.
Right.
If you swap,
Michael and Caleb.
you put
No.
Caleb over at 5:00, lower right hand.
No, I think Jay. You put
Oh, no,
Jay. You swap Jay
Jay
and Mike and
No, the
Jay
whole
and
bottom,
Caleb.
we gotta swap.
Oh, okay. I'll do that right now.
Yeah,
we-
put,
All right.
put Jay at nope. Jay goes over where Caleb is now.
One more.
There you go.
There,
Oh,
One
there
more.
we
Now
go.
put Caleb.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. It's
That's
correct.
Awesome.
you know what's really cool about
I
these,
hate the bottom left.
these
That is correct.
characterizations? What's really cool about these characterizations is it looks like Scooby and Shaggy found us.
We
Who
would
put me on the
have got
bottom
away
Let's
with
see.
it. We would have got away with it if it weren't for these meddling kids.
Somebody hold it up. Let's see it. John BL.
Just
Everybody's
like
got it.
look at that. That looks just right. Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo
It's
character.
fucking awesome.
Look
at
Jay.
John BL. John BL
I look
looked like-
angry.
yeah, you look like the
Jay-
crazy guy. Like you
Jay
open the
look-
door. You open the door to the
Lex
haunted
Luthor.
house. You know, like hello.
Like Lex Luthor or something. Yeah, take the mask off.
No,
Jay
Johnny-
looks high as fuck.
Yep. That's typical.
Johnny has the look like, which I've heard a million times on the phone with him. I don't really know
Paul,
that.
Paul and I are conspiring for something.
Yes, I've got a smirk. Apparently, I'm smirking about something.
And
I
Caleb
don't know what
wants
you're
in.
talking about. That's not a natural picture at all.
No, Caleb is like, no, Caleb is thinking.
What am I
Isolate.
doing?
Michael's the only one smiling.
Right? Mike looks the best. Look, Mike looks the best. Everyone else looks terrible.
I look like I climbed out of a fucking cave.
How did that happen?
Mike looks the best because who footed the bill?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Michael, thank you, man.
Michael, that's
Thank
awesome.
you, Michael. That's very
Thank you.
kind
Wonderful.
of you, man.
Everybody.
Thanks,
Beautiful.
Captain.
I'll wear one
That's
of
some
mine
shit
with
right
pride.
there.
Everybody's welcome. Plus, Johnny,
Yeah.
we were talking earlier about we actually have a few extra that might find their way to other people's hands.
Ooh.
Maybe
Oh, wow.
Or other
Yeah.
people's boobies.
I think
I
we
would
need
just
to
like-
put him into production.
I would just like to point out one thing. I have been doing mornings on KSLX here in Phoenix for 5 years with my partner, and I don't have a fucking T-shirt.
So you're more important on this show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a bigger personality on this show than I am in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, we give a shit about you, not them.
Well, good. You want to pay my rent?
Well, no, not that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Oh, and
Thank you, Captain. That's fucking awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
And-
Thanks again, Michael.
thank you to Cobra Kai Platoon
Cobra Kai Platoon
for
the artwork.
illustrating these. That's
Exactly.
Cobra Kai
Wow,
Platoon.
wow.
Thank you, man.
I did not know that. Thank
Yeah.
you, Cobra Kai.
Yeah, like this. Kind of like that. Same thing.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. There.
So small, except for Johnny.
I want that shit.
Like, it looks like Gilligan's skirt, but my head's too big.
I'm not sure. Somebody correct me, but am I the new Jan Brady?
I'm fucking Bobby, dude. I'm fucking Bobby.
I think I'm Cindy.
I might be the new Jan Brady.
No, they're on the left. We're on the right.
Are
We're
they?
The girls are on the
right.
left.
Yeah, boys
Oh,
on the
all
right.
right.
Oh, fucking awesome.
Shit, I'm Peter.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Jay's Jay.
North?
I'm Greg.
Who the
Yep.
fuck am I?
Pork chops and
You're Marcia.
applesauce.
You're Marcia.
Masha.
Jay is Jan, and John BL is Cindy. Look at that.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
John, what the
Hey.
fuck kind of collar are you wearing? What are you, a nun?
Looks like olive. It's olive.
Olive
oil.
It does look like
Oh
olive.
my gosh!
Rather be cousin Oliver.
Thank you,
That's
Cobra
fine,
Kai,
Oliver.
for that
Awesome
stuff.
Cobra Kai
Everybody.
platoon.
Cobra
Somebody
Kai.
find olive.
Thank you so much.
Somebody find olive oil.
That's the best.
A picture of olive oil.
Somebody pay Michael Smith's electric bill. He spent all his money on T-shirts. What the hell happened to your lights?
Oh man, oh that's good.
Oh, that is so good.
It's good to laugh.
We needed that after this week.
Definitely,
We needed that.
definitely.
So thank you, Cobra Kai platoon.
Yes.
Thanks again, man. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Cobra Kai.
Thank you.
Michael
That's-
Smith.
That's some funny shit, man. You did,
That's
Colby,
fucking
dude.
great.
We've lost Jay. Jay's going to be laughing the rest of the show.
That's all right.
I'm staring at the shirt in my lap, and it's funnier. It's funnier the more I look at it.
Right?
I took real quick and go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we all have to go to the next NAM. We all have to go wearing this shirt. And
Oh, we'll
find
wear it
shirt
on. We'll wear it on one day. We'll
Oh,
wear it on one.
yeah.
We'll all wear it on
Everybody
the same day.
on the same day. And people are like, what the fuck is going on? What is this
Yep.
Johnny Bean TV thing?
Right.
But then the unfortunate part is you're the guy wearing your own concert shirt.
Yeah, it's okay.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
We'll see if if any of us
yeah.
get recognized from the shirt. You know? We're just
Like
wearing
Johnny
a
Bean bingo.
Johnny Bean T-shirt. You know, and who's that guy? That's not me.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be tough for me. I'd have to shave my head.
You know,
I'm very inconspicuous.
This well-needed laugh is right.
this was John Biel the last half hour of last week's show. He was pissed. It went from,
I wasn't pissed. I was tired and I had a headache. I wasn't feeling well.
oh, you
But-
were.
Well,
you
that
were-
sounds like a challenge.
Well,
This
what
will
was
be
I
John
pissed
Biel the
about?
last half hour of this week's show.
What was I pissed about?
I
I can't
Johnny
remember.
laughing at farts, and then me laughing at
Oh no! Come on! I didn't give a shit about
No,
that.
that was
Talk about
that
that the whole time.
I just didn't feel well.
that was John Biel the night we were giving him shit about his guitar neck.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, that night he was
Hey.
pissed.
Speaking of,
Pissed.
Uh-oh.
look what I got
Uh-oh.
going.
Ooh.
This
Oh,
is
steal my
oh,
thunder! Steal my thunder!
John.
Now I'm pissed.
Yeah, go ahead, show it. Show it.
Now I'm
You got
pissed.
isolated.
got?
Now he's pissed.
What do you got?
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, some's working it.
That's cooler than
Yeah.
mine, John.
Did you get the one behind the tailpiece? Did you get the one behind the tailpiece? At the back.
At the
All the
back,
way at the-
behind the
all-
tailpiece.
Black,
Just gotta repaint it.
right by the.
I need the. I don't
oh,
have the small stripes. I just
No,
have
turn on the front side.
He's an
Front
he's an
side.
artist. He's
Back
an
or
endorsed artist, and now all
Right.
of a sudden he's a
Right.
fucking expert.
Okay. Show me
It's
the.
not 100%. I'll tell you right now.
No, I know, but there's that one little part. Right
Grab
here.
it. Whip it out.
Right here.
Is he doing Frank? He's doing Frankie.
Oh yeah. The rip.
Where the tape rips.
Yeah. It's not great, but it does rip.
I always look at that first.
Also,
And then
in other words,
these two, like these ones, and then the mustache is not perfect. It's a little big.
who?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you call that? The seagull. The seagull.
Are you doing a red one though? You're just doing the
Seagull.
pre.
No, this
pre-
is just gonna be black and white. I'm just gonna, at least for now, it'll be black and white.
So you're
It's
gonna,
black.
The
It's white.
The pinstripes you're gonna add.
This
Yeah.
is going
Oh, yeah.
somewhere in California.
Where's that?
This is going to somebody in California.
Right on, Jay. Thanks, man.
Going back to Cali.
Well, you're gonna have to go
Okay.
steal it out of somebody's PO box.
Oh fuck. That was for me. California.
That's not a crack either.
China.
That's not a crack.
China.
It's a black.
Dang.
one.
But it's going to Vagina.
China.
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 We are
Remember
children.
those clips?
Children.
Look at that. Look at that perfection of a standing.
I don't know, man.
You can fix that, Johnny.
Wow.
Oh, that's the one you had
Yes.
fun with.
One I ruined, but it might work on Johnny's because maybe Johnny's has a little more of a
Put a shim in it.
something.
Yeah, send that to Johnny.
A
I am.
piece. Thank you, man.
You can take it to somebody and they can take it to a luthier, and if it's too short in the pants, they can add glue a wood shim in the bottom of it. You know what I mean? They can make it
Short in
work.
the pants.
They can make it work. There's nobody around me that does stuff like that, so it's pointless for me to even attempt it. It's literally sitting here as a decoration for the show. And I'm like, Johnny needs one. I don't. I got enough shit in here.
Can we do a GoFundMe for the captain's lighting? What do you think? He just had a dark screen which completely blacked him out, and then his screen popped on.
Cap, I'm gonna send you a link for a
light, an O light.
Yeah,
a television is not a proper lighting device.
They're like $50.
Yeah.
No, you can get cheaper.
You can.
You can get a small one for like $10 or something.
Like this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably an $8 Walmart light,
and it shows.
And it looks like
just get some uplighting.
Not the best tone, but hey,
we want to keep people watching the fucking show.
Oh,
okay.
So we need it to be more like
if you
this.
tailored your language a little bit, maybe.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
Does that work for you, Michael?
How's that? Better?
That's way much. Actually, yeah.
Good night. Yeah.
There we go.
I like that. Spooky. It's like the cover of Oh You Ate One Too.
Yeah,
we're talking Van Halen tonight. We've got a few guests in the house tonight. We got
Bloody Mary.
Oh You Ate BL.
Oh You Ate BL.
I talked to a bunch of middle school kids, and they don't know anything about Van Halen.
Here we go.
Dude,
just let you know.
Hi, my name is John, and because of legal restrictions, I have to announce that I've moved into your neighborhood.
I'm sorry, man. When you said that, it was hilarious. I talked about.
I know. Every time I say that, but that's my week to week. That's what I do, man. That's what I'm dealing with every day.
You're a middle school teacher? I thought it was high school.
Silly kid. No, middle school. Elementary, middle.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, add that in.
Moving on.
No. What subjects?
Do we have to get into it? You really want to get into it?
Yes, I want to know what subjects.
Typing.
I'm teaching special ed this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good for you.
That is great. No, that is great. See?
Absolutely.
You thought we were going to shit on you.
No.
What if I said I'm a math teacher?
That's the one thing you can't. Wait, were you joking?
No, I am.
Okay, well,
yeah.
No,
yeah,
that's awesome.
that's
we got to move on. We got to move on.
That's got to be
Sorry,
a little tough, a little tough. So I mean,
we did good. Let's move on. We did good. Move on.
Okay. Lenny Lou to the captain and Cobra Kai platoon. Never thought I'd laugh so hard again. Thank you.
I'm not sure the chat is going to be as charitable as we are to John Biel, but
that's all right.
You stepped in it, so yeah, it's all good.
Right.
No, that's awesome. Good for you, man.
Paul.
Caleb.
How'd your tribute show go?
It went really well. Thanks for listening.
Wow.
I only did 3 of them over the past 4 days, but don't worry about it. It's all good. Appreciate it.
Had plenty of opportunities.
Did you play the solo
No, I
in
didn't.
entirety?
I didn't play it in entirety because I don't have 12 minutes to kill on the radio. It's difficult to do a 12-minute guitar solo on the radio. But I will tell you what I did play that our friends at other
Where's
radio
the boo
stations.
button? John Biel, where's the boo?
But I will tell you what I did play.
Oh, we got the
Everyone's out
Johnny
there.
cam right, the Johnson cam.
Hey, what's up with that? What's up, yam bag?
Oh, what happened?
Oh, did you see something?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I missed that one. Oh no.
I'm in my
So-
underwear.
God.
So Caleb, what's your Moyle's name?
Oh my God. This video getting deleted or what?
Wow. I just did that, didn't I?
Oh, man.
All right. Well, at least I wasn't Chaplin.
Starting over. Welcome everyone. Hey, we're all here early tonight, and we're gonna start the show.
No, but to answer your question, Caleb, yes, it did go well. The listeners of Phoenix Radio were treated to.
It was.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead, Jay.
God.
I wasn't finished telling my story, but that's okay, Jay. You just jump right in.
All right. I'm expecting a
Tribute show went over
screenshot
big.
any second. Oh, the most embarrassed man on the internet right now.
It went over bigger than Caleb's brain.
How many people saw that?
That he was hanging right there.
Over 100.
Hanging brain. Caleb setting gum.
117 on YouTube
Oh
alone.
shit.
Most show.
No, but yeah,
And it's going to go up from there, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
We got to go up.
Now it's going down just like Caleb.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
Oh.
The listeners of Phoenix Radio were treated to the one semi-playing of Mitch Malloy's "It's About Time." I gave them a little piece of that. They got Dallas's "One Way to Rock" from the Dallas Free Show. They got Sydney, Australia's "Unchained" from '98 with Gary. A little bit of "Get the Show on the Road." We did "Rock and Roll" from New Halen. We did "In a Simple Rhyme," "Little Guitars," "Could This Be Magic?"
In that order?
No. Just I
was going to say, damn, you got some kind of memory there, bud.
No, I did. But these are the songs that I know that we played. I was
listening when you did Little Guitars, and it was really cool. Like, I mean, you never hear the intro on the radio, and
we played the whole thing. It was good. My program director was cool. I'm in a real fortunate situation where the program director trusts that, especially when it comes to something like Van Halen or when we're doing a tribute show, he basically says, "You guys do what you do." And I trust that you're going to get what's going to. Now, a lot of people don't get that freedom. We do. I'm really fortunate that we were able to play whatever we wanted, and we did play, some of the solo stuff. We played some of the clips from Ed at the Smithsonian talking about how when he came over with his father and being on the boat and sitting at the captain's table, and it was a really good tribute. You should have listened.
Is it available to listen to?
I can get you the audio if you want.
Okay.
I'll get it to you if you want, because I talk about the fact that.
I'd like that.
Mitch was the third singer, and that the fourth singer got screwed. Never had a chance. And my producer's like 35 years old, so he has no frame of reference when it comes to Van Halen whatsoever. Played Right Now from Toronto in '95 too. That was one of the early songs.
Oh, cool.
It was tough because when you're playing any of the live stuff, Sammy will drop an occasional F-bomb in the middle, and Dave is in his own world.
A lot of the Dave stuff was poor quality too. I mean, even the US Festival, it's hard to play some of that stuff over the radio because it sounds like a VHS tape.
Spotlight, asshole.
I did play a little bit
and
of
all that
them.
too.
I did play a little bit of them doing Hots On for Nowhere in the club, which is kind of neat. I know that was Bogarts or whatever it was that they were.
Some of those club tapes are great.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Better than a lot of the mid '80s stuff. All those like Golden West Ballroom and Pasadena High. That stuff was, probably recorded on 1/4-inch tape.
And some of it drags too. Like if you're going to put it on, you got to put it on a cassette deck and play with the speed of the motor to try and get it to the right pitch, because some of it's really low pitch and Dave sounds really low.
I bought when the Tokyo 1989 show, I got that bootleg, and the first bootleg CD I had was that, and it was slow, or it was faster. I think it was slow, but you could just audibly tell it was just whoever did the transfer did a terrible.
Is that
job.
Is that the One Way to Rock 4 CD set?
No, this was probably just an independent bootleg kind of thing. It's something I got it at Hampton Beach, the rock shop down there. So it was like when you get the the Maxell VHS tapes, it's not a professional copy. Back in the 80s, they didn't even bother with a lot of labels or cover art.
Played a little bit of the dance version of Finish What You Started, just to prove that Van Halen made some bad decisions back in the day.
The dance version, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
You've never heard that?
I don't think I've heard that.
Oh, it's awful.
I'm so glad. I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm so glad I haven't.
Oh, it's awful.
Was it something they released back then, or was it something that was like somebody did a remix of,
I don't know
like
who did it.
Thing, yeah.
I don't know who did it, but it's awful. It's got, it's those like a Boss drum machine, type back and forth, and then some keyboards behind it that, that are the chord changes for the song. And then it, breaks into the guitar riff a little bit, like a sample of the guitar riff. It's whoever did it had the tracks because they were able to isolate.
Yeah. De-isolate.
Fruitcake Tony he's got the bootleg from the last show. Awesome. I was there. It was awesome. And it felt like the last show. Although there was supposed to be one last year.
Yep.
and it would have been amazing because they
I
would have
posted the.
they would have climaxed at the Rose Bowl. How sick is that? How sick is that?
Wow.
To end it all.
And it was a state. It was going to be a stadium tour, right? At least
Yeah,
that's
like
what the rumor was.
18,
Rose Bowl
18
holds-
days. Yeah, 100,000.
100,000. Yeah. Wow. Man.
Well, that it's funny because 18 dates used to be a tour for some bands. Like when Zeppelin would come to town back in the early 70s, they would play Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, Miami, Chicago, LA, Seattle, and call it a tour. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And Iron Maiden does that too now in America because they don't need to. They make all their money in South America, so they play 25 shows in America and then go right down to Brazil and play for 300,000 people.
Which,
They play every little town in every little.
But they get that. But they fill every place in South America. It's amazing to watch. Iron Maiden has a hard time selling out 18,000 seat hockey arenas here in the United States, and they go down to South America and there's 500,000 people in the fucking stadium. It's amazing.
Yeah.
so I got a question. What was everybody doing on Tuesday when they heard?
I was in bed.
I was right here.
Well, why don't you start?
Who? Let's go. Well, who's top?
Caleb.
I'm on the
I
top.
don't care.
Well,
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Unless Johnny wants to start, I don't know. I'll start. I don't care.
well, he asked us. Well, I'm on this side. Well, how about we go
Johnny.
me, Paul, you?
Let's not
Okay.
think too much about it.
I was sitting right here. I was getting ready to jump in the shower. The truth is, I was getting ready to head down 20 minutes to get one of those Popeyes chicken sandwiches. That's what I was going to do because I woke up. I'm like, man, that sounds good. I saw that there was one down the street. So I was getting ready to jump in the shower. I'm sitting right here. I get all my alerts for Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everything right on my screen. And immediately, Wolfgang Van Halen Twitter popped up. I clicked on it instantly. I saw the picture of Eddie. I saw the text, and I was just in shock instantly. So I would say that I was one of the first in the world to see it because how quick.
What time was that?
It was like 12,
12:15.
Yeah.
12.
And he's posting
12,
pictures every day.
3:15.
He's posting pictures every day at 10:14. I don't know if that means anything. That could be the time of death. I don't know what that means, but he's been posting his pictures daily, one at a time at 10:14. But go ahead. Sorry.
Who is?
Yeah,
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang. He's been posting a lot of old pictures of him and
Not
Eddie
a lot.
together.
One a day. Not a
Well,
lot.
yeah,
One a-
Oh wow!
several, some. But yeah, I was sitting right here. I saw it.
Of course you pick up on that, Caleb.
I basically just kind of went into shock, and I thought, well, maybe he was hacked. Maybe this isn't, But immediately, Valerie Bertinelli posted Broken Hearts. Her brother posted, Broken Hearts. And I thought, well, maybe they're all hacked. It's Twitter. That happens, I turned to this computer here. I go to TMZ, LA Times. They were right on top of it.
TMZ is amazingly accurate when it comes to shit like this. I mean,
Right on
you
top.
say what you will about them, their journalism is amazing. They're on top of shit, and they're usually accurate because obviously Harvey Levin doesn't want to get sued. So they make sure everything is verifiable before they run with it, and they tend to be on it 99% of the time.
Yeah. And so, I saw that. I checked that. I was just in shock. I was just whatever. And I'm like, well, okay, it's real. I got to go live. It's real. I got to go live because this is what I do, And so I said in our group chat, Saturday Night Live, I said, hey, I'm going live. I put the link in there. Neanderthal jumped in.
I reached in and said, hey, do you want help? Do you want company?
Neanderthal was there, Jean Biel, Michael Smith. And we sat here for 8 hours that day. And at first I thought, well, 8 hours, whatever. But no, I got so many messages later, people just thanking me, just saying, Johnny, we can't believe you were there for like everybody. And and an hour in or whatever, we topped at 1,000 live views.
Yeah.
And then the entire time it was 200-300 or whatever, but we ended at like 20,000 views or something. And
You're at 26 today. I saw 26,000.
26?
Yesterday was 25. So
But-
it's gone up.
but anyway, a lot of people sent me messages just thanking me for for just being there for people, and it's like, hey, I mean, that's,
Yeah, don't understate Johnny's role in this, because it was just, you were there for all of us, and that was awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you for what you do. We haven't said it 100 times.
I wasn't able to go live. That's for sure. Fuck that.
I was I was laying down for my nap. I do a nap after the show. We get up at 3:00 in the morning. We host, for those that don't know in the chat, I host a morning show here in the Classic Rock Station in Phoenix. And we get off the air at 10:00. I was home by about 11. It was Tuesday? So I was home at 11. And by 12:10 or so, I get a text from my program director. It says Eddie Van Halen died. So I jump up and go, what time do you want me in? Because I knew exactly what we were going to have to do. We don't have an afternoon guy at the station right now. We had released our afternoon guy a couple of weeks ago, so we have some part-timer people filling in. So they weren't going to do that. So immediately we went all Van Halen. The midday chick is not a big Van Halen fan, doesn't know a whole lot about them. So we
Fire her.
we immediately dropped all the music and went 100% Van Halen music. And then at about 4:00, I came in and we ran from 4:00 until Alice Cooper took over at 7:00 with nonstop Van Halen. But I remember my first tweet was at 12:37 on Tuesday, and it just said EVH. That was it. Like, I didn't know what the fuck to say. I mean, at that point, you just kind of go, all right, great. And then, it's weird. My the girl that does our Mark and Neanderthal Facebook page, her name is Elaine. She calls it soldier mode. And I just immediately shut down and grabbed all my CDs, which are still stacked over here, like all the unreleased stuff stacked over here. Just grabbed all that shit, put it in a bag, and went to the radio station. And I went on the air. My partner, Mark, showed up at about 5:15 or so, and he joined me, and we basically took over the radio station on Tuesday afternoon until Alice Cooper. Obviously, Alice Cooper took care of what needs to be done at night. And then, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it was just a shitload of Van Halen. All Friday morning, I was on my own. My partner went out to take the time off. So I did a Friday morning kind of Van Halen tribute show, which was easy from a content standpoint because I have the music and I know the guy and I know the band and stuff. It was really difficult to deal with the phone calls and the emails from people who are legitimately upset. Like, this is, not to overstate it, but this is like when Tom Petty died, like when Neil Peart died, but almost like when John Lennon died. Eddie was so important to so many people. And as we talked about earlier before Caleb jumped in, maybe the second most important guitar player in the history of guitar behind Jimi Hendrix. And you sit back and you say to yourself, well, that's how important it is. I mean, CNN stopped their programming. They were nonstop political stuff. And the Today Show stopped their programming. Like, everybody stopped and acknowledged the passing of Eddie Van Halen. It was really a surreal moment for a couple of days. And it really, 4 days later,
it's still going.
4 days later, people are still doing it. People are still kind of processing it.
Yeah.
And Caleb, I don't know if you saw the intro of the show, or Jay, you saw the intro of the show, but it was weird to be sitting here on the first Saturday night without Eddie Van Halen in the world. I mean, Eddie Van Halen, Saturday night, he was part of everything we did since 1978. How many weeks have we sat here on the show speculating what's going to happen? Are they going to get back together with Sammy? Are they going to get back together with Dave? Are they going to bring Michael back in? Hey, maybe Gary will come back. And we made fun of all this shit. We never really, we had that moment when Dave told us last September that Eddie was really sick. And behind the scenes, some of us were aware of some shit that wasn't public knowledge. And we all just kind of hoped that it wouldn't go the way that we saw it going. But it's something we saw coming. And then on Tuesday, man, it just all hit the wall. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't surprised by it. But I didn't think it was going to happen Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
John Biel.
Well, I had worked a full day, worked till 3 here. And then what was it? So Tuesday, I came home and took a nap, or just laid on the couch for a while, bummed out. And then I usually go to my parents on Tuesday evening for dinner. So I got in the car, went out, heading to my parents, and turned on the car. Everybody Wants Some was playing, and as I'm pulling out of the driveway, as I'm pulling out of the driveway, they played the song right to the end and almost left like a second of silence too. So it was right to the end, a little bit of silence, and then the DJ comes on and says, and this was, they had been playing, they had announced it earlier. This was like this was like 5 in the afternoon or 4 in the afternoon.
2 hours late.
I was very late to the party.
Damn.
I didn't hear about it until, because like I said, I took a nap and it was like I was just, I got home from school. I didn't hear it until then. And
you did post on Facebook like, I'm just seeing this now. What the fuck? It was so weird.
Yeah.
Like, because all the rest of us have been talking about it for hours.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was out of the loop for that. And then so I was stuck in traffic heading down, it's usually a 15, 20-minute drive to my parents. So I'm stuck, in local city traffic, and I'm hearing it for the first time. And to be honest with you, I was, not only because I was in traffic, but because of the news, I was screaming, fuck. And that was my first reaction to it.
Just to answer a question to Halen fanatic, yes, David Lee Roth did know how sick Ed was, and he told us last September.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead. And we all shit on him for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
ahead,
and that's,
John, sorry to
that's
interrupt.
basically it. No, that's, and so it sunk in, as I was, driving, and then, went to my parents. I just quickly grabbed some dinner, and I helped my dad with a few chores and stuff, and then so that was it. And then I came home, and Johnny was on, so I jumped in for a little bit, and it still hasn't sunk in 100%. It's just
it's never
surreal, like everybody says, So that's my story.
I think it'll sink in if any unreleased stuff kind of gets released. It'll be like, wow.
Oh yeah.
I'm listening to something that, I think that's kind of when it'll really, and that could be a few years away.
This is going to be the Jimi Hendrix estate. There's going to be
posthumous
releases.
But there's not going to be as much controversy over it. I think Wolf and Alex are going to do the right thing.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an overwhelming amount. I think they know, especially Alex knows, Eddie didn't want people to hear things that weren't finished. I think they're going to be very protective over that.
Yeah, and I think also you're going to have. I think you're going to have a really good backstory, dates and stuff, and how he went back and forth. Kind of an inside scoop as to why they particularly picked this piece of music to release. Because they're not just going to throw stuff out there. That's not going to happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a live archive thing like what the Allman Brothers are doing right now, which is they've got their own sort of bootleg series. And clearly, you've heard that Eddie Van Halen recorded every rehearsal, and they have how many of those shows have been pro shot?
AC/DC, almost everything since the Sammy era, at least since the arenas all had the closed circuit at that point.
AC/DC waited an appropriate amount of time and then released all that unreleased Bon Scott stuff, the radio sessions and stuff. And I remember Van Halen did do a radio session at a radio station in Boston called Y107, which eventually became WFNX. So they did a lot of radio interviews and they did a lot of performances and stuff like that, like when they would go in and hang out on the Howard Stern show. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see like a live archive series.
Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I think it's weird. Usually, I remember exactly where I was, but I don't remember like what I was doing. I had either just gave Killian a bottle and gave him a nap, and then I was getting up out of bed, and I looked at my phone, and I refreshed. It was either Instagram or Twitter. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Twitter. And the second I saw Eddie's face, Eddie's picture, and Wolfgang's post, I didn't have to read it. I knew instantly that, like, oh no,
this is it.
And then I started reading and said, and then the first sentence I was like, oh crap! And I almost have a weird as I started to move with my phone in hand, I was like, it's like a big blur, and then I told Jeannie, I was like, Eddie, I don't even want to say it again, but I told her, and then that's when I think the chat started to go back and forth, and then I remember Michael saying something about maybe it was hacked or whoever it was.
Yeah.
And then literally as I was going from the bedroom and about to walk into the kitchen, Nesdal called me. He's like, what did he say? He said something like, did Eddie Van Halen blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it seems that way, man. It hasn't been verified anything, but Wolfgang posted it. And if you scroll through the comments, you can see that Valerie put, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He kind of got choked up when I told him. He's like, all right. And I was like, all right, man, I'll talk to you later. And then it's like a big blur. It's weird, man. And I've told you guys this before, and I don't want to make a big story of this, but I usually don't get too, overly, with like celebrities and musicians and stuff. But like Eddie Van Halen has been a part of my life since I can remember. I mean, my older brother got me into them. And it's always been like, Paul said, like, this is the first Saturday night show without an Eddie Van Halen in the world. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like, he's the reason why any of us wanted to pick up a guitar in the first place and play music. And it's just it's a weird thing. Like, we all feel like a part of that, and yeah, I usually don't get that tied up in that stuff, but this one kicked, man. This one kicked pretty good and still is.
Yeah. Hurts. No.
And Paul said as well, I don't want to cut anybody off, but as Paul said before, it's like, we always had that. It was always the conversation sometimes, and people would ask in the chat, what do you think? What do you think will happen? New album, new tour? Is this coming back? Is it going to be Sammy? Is it going to be Dave? And now we can't have that conversation. And it sucks that we can't, it really does.
Yeah, that drove a lot of shows. Think of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's part of being a fan, right?
Come to find out, a lot of the rumors were true too. Stuff we've heard in the last year or two.
I was going to say we have, and full disclosure to the people in the chat, when this show is over, we sometimes will sit and shoot the shit for a while. And some of us have heard things over the past year that has been sort of private, and we kind of had an inkling of that things weren't as good as we had hoped, and everybody sort of kept their mouth shut, sort of in the way that Sammy and Eddie buried the hatchet. For those people that don't know that, the acrimony between Sammy Hagar and Eddie Van Halen ended right around the beginning of the year, and they spent a good 9 months tweeting back and forth and emailing back and forth and being in contact.
Did anybody, any of us,
Sorry?
know about that? Did any of us know about that at that time?
Yeah, texting. Yes,
we only knew about it this week, right?
I didn't know about it.
Right.
They did a fantastic job of keeping it quiet. And we had all hoped for a better outcome, but there were rumors that it had spread to his lungs, and there were rumors that he had had a stroke. And when he went into the hospital a few months back for the bad reaction to medication, that was basically the diagnosis that it was just a matter of time. And Irving Azoff confirmed all of that stuff, that there was going to be a reunion with Michael, and that a combination of Ed's health and COVID kept it from happening.
Go ahead, Mike.
And it's interesting because Caleb went dark for about 48 hours, and I texted him because I knew this was going to hit him particularly hard. And I don't know if I'm the only one. I bet you I'm not. I bet all 6 of us had our phones blow up from people, friends, concerned how we were doing with the passing of Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, I think just to cut. I mean, I think everybody who's a big fan had that same experience on Tuesday. Everybody they know was checking in on them, because everybody on this screen right now has heard the same thing 1,000 times this week. First person I thought of was you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've gotten that 1,000 times this week. So,
and not to make light of anything, but that actually feels like when I've gotten that and still get it, that actually has I don't want to say a cool feeling, but that's how much people know and our friends know, and people that we weren't, haven't even spoken to in years. Like, dude, first person I thought of, man. I'm like,
people I don't even know were messaging me, asking me if I was okay.
By the way, and I'll just say it now. Thank you to you guys, and thank you to everybody in the chat and people that messaged on Facebook and reached out to all of us to see how we were doing. That is humbling. And it just shows that there is a weird community. And again, I don't know. I've never met anybody else on this except for Caleb face to face on this thing. And yet we meet every week and we talk about this band and this guy who affects all of us. And so just thanks to everybody for giving a shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And that's
because it does bother us. I have a tear in my eye right now. It does hurt.
It matters.
It does feel like we lost somebody we knew.
Yeah.
It was Valerie's post that got me, man.
Yep.
Valerie's post got me too. If you listened on, I don't know if it's Thursday morning, the last thing I did was read the thing that I posted on my Facebook page about how it felt like to lose a little bit of my youth with Eddie Van Halen. My partner Mark read Valerie Bertinelli's tweet and couldn't finish it. I mean, he got 2/3 of the way through it and just couldn't. I'm tearing up now. Couldn't finish it because.
How much does that say about the guy that his ex-wife, is saying this? How much? It was love till the end. I mean, and it's like whether or not they had their.
I literally pictured them. I picture them. Sorry, I picture them meeting in the next life. When she when she said that, I was like, well, there's fucking no doubt about that.
right.
And I don't even believe in that shit. But I'm like, oh, they're meeting again. Like, know, incredible. Like that, those words she used in that tweet.
None of us have let Caleb tell his story.
Right. I'm not.
Or Michael.
Or Michael. Michael's next. But
bye, Mike.
yeah, that tweet, because the initial reaction, I was stunned. I was just frozen. And
what's going on with Michael's internet? It's like doing
Michael's cutting out.
I don't know. We're getting glitchy.
Did it?
Yeah.
Really?
I got to pee. Up right back.
All right, you go ahead, Mike.
I don't want to lose anybody's story though.
Okay, well, Paul, wait for us.
Keep listening.
Yeah, let us know when you're done. When you're
done. Just hold it.
Put the tweet up, Mike. Johnny, put that tweet up.
Michael, do you want me to cut you off so that we can just fill time
again?
Or...
Yeah. Again.
Wait, I'm gonna pump the volume. Pump up the volume.
Pump up the volume.
Dance.
And we ruined Mancuda's night too on Tuesday because Mancuda had a bunch of dick jokes that he wanted to make and he couldn't. So thank you, Eddie Van Halen. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
He was tame. Well, actually, there was a section at some point where you guys all went off.
Well, we had to. It was Tuesday night.
A little bit.
Give the people what they
want.
Want.
With the billboards, I haven't seen one yet, but I haven't been around a lot. But
I just showed
I've seen tons of billboards on the internet. That's crazy. How do you get that shit up that quick?
John, Bill, show that real quick. I'll be back in a second. I got to take care of something real quick.
And I'm going to get some beers.
Oh, my God. What's happening?
Everyone's leaving.
I know.
All right, let's see. Hopefully I go the right way. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, wow. I love that one.
I mean, there's probably 20 of them on here anyway, at least.
Wow. Are they electronic? Is that why they can get
most of them? Yeah.
Okay.
This was Purdue University. Most of them say where they are.
That's pretty cool. Except I see the word "die" now in Eddie's name. That's all I see.
Oh, geez, wow.
Oh my God! I
don't know what that is.
Does anybody else now see that? I see "die" in Eddie's name.
I came back to that.
That's man, I need an easier way to do this.
Somebody text John
somebody.
Bell.
Yeah. Whiskey. This was in Massachusetts.
That one's good.
What does that say? Rest in peace. Sweetwater. Vestal, whatever that is. Ding. No, Jay. Jay can't resist. A lot of arenas put on their signs. Madison Square Garden was one of them. You Really Got Us. I like that one.
Wow. I saw that one.
Yeah.
I saw that.
That's my middle finger, but no.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there. I've actually been to that.
Allstate Arena?
No, the previous. That's
Pasadena?
Pasadena City College. Howie, I have a picture of Howie and I are in front of that.
That's it.
There we go.
Those were the ones that I got, and then I'm sure there's more out there. And they were on the Johnny's Facebook page. Somebody had posted them all.
Wow. Oh, in the Van Halen group.
Yeah, so I grabbed them all. As many as I could. So
yeah. And thank you to the Van Halen 1978 to 1984 Facebook group. Everybody's kind of behaving, I think.
It's cordial.
So I actually think the whole Sammy versus Dave debate will now just be like put to rest because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. It's all Eddie's music. It's all amazing.
Oh,
what we knew all the time. I mean, it's basically what we always knew.
Oh yeah.
You see that one? You see that one post in there today? I don't even want to repeat it.
I don't know.
Oh, there was some stupid ones. There was a few stupid ones. Yeah.
It had to be somebody trolling and just waiting for the responses.
I've added 200 people a day to that every day this week.
Be ready to clip people because there might be some idiots. So
yeah.
Again,
I asked people.
Right? Might be.
I asked people to report stupid things in there, and people
shenanigans.
A lot of people do. They report the stuff, and I just delete everything.
Shenanigans.
All right. Well, Michael Smith, it's Eminem time. Let's hear your "Where Were You" story.
Well, I was home and I was working from home, catching up on some reports. Got a lot of stuff going on at work as always.
I want a reenactment video while you're telling this story.
You want me to get my computer?
Yeah.
That's all I was doing was this. There you go. Shit. Backspace. So I'm working and my phone starts dinging. And it's wild because I opened it up and I had two things pop up right away. Our chat, right? At the Saturday Night Live one, and then Twitter. You know, I saw that the hashtag, and I saw Eddie's name, and I was like, okay, this probably is not good. And that's when I actually said I put in there saying, hopefully this is that these accounts are hacked. Happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then they started coming fast and furious, and it was pretty obvious that this was, this was what we were hoping was not going to be. It was true. What I did right after that, actually, I called my boss up. Okay, and there's another backstory to this also. I called my boss up and I was like, I'm done for the day. And I had a tentative vacation coming up and I haven't been to work since. I took off. Okay. Tuesday is also happens to be the same day that my father died. I lost him on that same date in 2003.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was already on my mind, and it was, getting on Johnny's show was, and that's why I jumped on so quick. I mean, I was going to pop on anyway, but I felt I needed to, I needed to be with like-minded people that kind of, and I know it's weird, man. I get it. Probably people think it's weird, but feeling the same emotions, man, and, yeah. So, that's in a nutshell my day, man. It was like a 1-2 punch, man, and it still hurts. So
it's crazy how, all of us kind of handle things a little differently. As soon as I saw that you guys were on, I didn't even see the link in the chat, but I put my phone up and I saw that you guys were live and I clicked it. And there was that split second emotion of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go on. Like, you know, that's the thing. Like, you see the show happening, and it's just like ingrained in us that yeah, I'm gonna go on. And then I thought again, and then I think Jeannie asked me, she's like, those guys are on? I said, yeah. She goes, are you gonna go upstairs? I'm like, you know what? I was like, I really don't. I can't. I was like, I kind of shut some. It depends on, you know, everybody. Like I said, handles things differently. I kind of shut down and keep everything in for a while and kind of just think about stuff and try to hold everything back, because if I don't, I feel like I'll kind of lose it. You know what I mean? So that's what I did for a while, and then you know, I just, even you guys were on for 8.5 hours, and I watched a bunch of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't come out. I felt like you know how women are too. Like Jeannie kept asking throughout the day, like, "You all right? You know, are you okay?" And she'd give me hugs and stuff. And I'm like, I just want to breathe. You know, just I need some room. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, that's how I reacted that day. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, that's the only thing I can kind of chalk it up to. Again, I you know, and then after that, I went ahead and made a couple of phone calls to, you know, family members about my pop, you know, and I had more than one say, "Wow, I also heard about Eddie too. How ironic is that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you know, you just wow, you know." So that's how my day went, and that's how I'm still on vacation. I mean, I took the week off. Like I said, I'm off Monday because it's a holiday, and I'm off Tuesday. In fact, I took a nice ride into the mountains today just to clear my head a bit. On my motorcycle, took a train ride, and yeah, that's it. It's my story. Caleb, you up, man?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Why do I feel like this one's going to be hard?
I know, we're all waiting for this one.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm bummed. My idol just took off. Right?
Good one.
Well, I kind of, you know, it wasn't a shock. Because, you know, I've been through some cancer stuff with people, and I just know the clock. And, you know, you just do the math on stuff. And it was actually going over the time I thought it would be. So when Wolfgang really quieted down from his crazy making the last couple months with his responding to people talking shit, and he went kind of silent, I noticed that. So I wake up on Tuesday morning early, which is late for you, most people, because it's California, and I see I have a text, and it's from Renoff, and it says a source I have inside sent me a text that said EVH with prayer hands. That was it.
Wow.
So I just knew. I knew that something was coming. And, you know, on my phone, looking at my phone. And then I have, you know, Wolf on alert. And there it was. I saw it right away, popped it in, looked at the picture, read the first line.
And you knew it.
Read it again. You know, I had to read it again.
Yeah.
And and then I literally took that and shared it onto the Eddie Van Halen Facebook page and said, it's over. I just like I had to do, you know, I had to be first or something. I don't know why I did it, but I had the information. I had to deliver it, you know? And then I watched the first bunch of comments, and people were like, what bullshit, fuck, hoax, fake news. And, yeah, I mean, you're thinking about it, and then I find out that he's literally in the hospital for a few months, a half a mile from me. I could walk there and come back before the show's over. You know, that hospital is where my kids were born, You know,
Wow.
it's where some of our friends have died, and you know, it's.
No, was he in the hospital in the last days, or was he at home?
Yeah,
he was in the
He's been in
hospital.
the hospital for over a
a few
month.
months.
He had a stroke, and it was bad, and it basically put him on his deathbed. And I want to tell you something, and this is, you know, I'm trying to be lighthearted here, but like the CIA should call the Van Halens and ask them for advice about keeping stuff covert and secret, because
you ain't shitting that.
If you're on your fucking deathbed in one of the biggest, most popular hospitals in the Los Angeles area. Oh my God, it sounded like the Beastie Boys intro.
I love you.
That was I love you to Caleb.
I love you too, Ace.
Good boy, buddy. Good boy.
Yeah, he's laying there in St. John's for that long a time. Nobody knows. Nobody finds out. Nobody snitches.
It is amazing when you think about it.
Freaking amazing. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. But they have the power. There's something about the Van Halens. This has happened before, you know. So yeah, it's shocked, no. But ready for all of this, all the after. Yeah, shocked by the death, no. Shocked by the reaction, yes. Just because we don't know what the reaction's going to be. And I tell you something, if it was mild, I would be kind of bummed, you know, because I think Eddie Van Halen's a big deal. Guess what? I think he's the biggest deal, actually. And I know everybody else thinks it too. Everybody who knows anything about music in this business will listen to a guitar player and they'll say, he's great, but he's no Eddie Van Halen. And that's just where we are. You know, he's the single greatest guitar player in the history of that instrument. And I will fight you. I'll fight you. Anybody. I'm sorry.
Isolate.
Isolate.
I'm gonna come find you.
No, there's nobody made millions of people pick up a guitar like he did. Nobody. That's a fact.
Not even close.
That is a fact.
That is a fact.
Not even.
Nobody has driven the sales of an industry repeatedly for decades like Eddie Van Halen. Nobody. Okay.
Nobody has driven the you know, the playing of the guitar, like
the envelope of guitar.
Yeah,
it's basically been pushed more by him than anybody.
Yeah,
you know, nobody's created more stuff on a guitar.
Every album is different, and every album is like another peak, another mountain peak.
And the finish, just with the playing, nobody has ever wrote the songs that he has written. There's so many great guitar players. There's so many people who could shred Eddie out of the building. It's not even funny. There's so many people who could do circles around him with their technique, but none of them can write a fucking song. Yeah, none of them can write a tune like him.
Yeah, that's the thing that puts Eddie Van Halen above Jimmy. And Jimmy obviously was the first guy to sort of set this thing on its path. And then
Jimmy could have thrown a Mixolydian in there, but he never did. He stayed in pentatonic, fuckers. Eddie went there. You know,
Jimmy was the guy that started it. He was the guy that showed you what you could do with a guitar, and Eddie took it to another level. Just like, you know, Leo Fender is credited with inventing the solid body, even though Les Paul did it before him, but Leo got it to market first. And then go ahead.
Jimmy was the prototype. Ed was the factory. Like,
yeah, I mean,
he made everybody.
I'm not done.
Somebody has to invent the pencil, but the artist draws the picture.
All right,
who puts the lead in the pencil?
So we got.
What is wrong with me?
We got.
God.
Johnny, I think Caleb needs another isolate. Yes, pop him up.
Yeah, he's about to drop some knowledge on some people.
We got the guitar player, best. We got the songwriter, best hard rock songwriter, arguably. Hard rock pop, by the way.
Yeah, definitely could write a pop song.
Right? And the best live performer. The best live performer.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's watching Sammy. Nobody's watching Dave. Yeah, they're listening to him. They're watching Eddie. That's it.
I would say that as a performer, Angus is there, but not with the same dexterity, not doing the most inventive shit. But Angus is a performer.
Yeah, but when AC/DC, and I'm not taking anything away with Angus, love him.
Oh yeah.
But when they're on stage, Brian comes up, and he's people are watching him during the whole concert. I've seen videos that this drove me freaking nuts. I see a good sound quality, right? A good video quality, older, and they're panning over to David, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't want to watch that. Put it over to fucking Eddie. Are you out of your mind?
No, right. Eddie was the complete package.
So when you went to see Van Halen, you went to see Eddie Van Halen. Everybody else,
the
coattail.
And that's why the band stayed. That's why the band survived. People are like, "Oh, it's good because they brought in a good singer." No.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it got later, and then whatever. Everything runs its course. And
I don't know if you play those Mitch Malloy tracks, it doesn't. The music doesn't carry those songs.
We all know that the magic fades.
No, I was going to say the line that Eddie says in Unleashed. Without Dave, that's what I was going on that.
A lot of people.
Here's the thing that we can say about work. Here's the thing we can say about Eddie Van Halen that you can't say about anybody that you compare Eddie Van Halen to, including Jimmy. We got his best. We don't know what Jimmy would have done. Jimmy was an incomplete story. Randy Rhoads was an incomplete story.
Mm-hmm. Incomplete rhythm player too.
Yeah. Eddie's incomplete tone.
Yes. Oh yes.
We got the best of Eddie Van Halen. We got the best of it. We got,
the best and the worst. We got it all.
Yeah. But the point is, Eddie's story is told. It's sad. The ending is sad. We didn't want him to go. We never, as I wrote on Facebook, we never want to see our best friends grow old. We never want to see them get sick. We never want to see them become feeble and die. We didn't get that with Jimmy. So we don't know what Jimmy could have been. So the story is untold. Randy, same thing. Yeah. All of those, even Tom Petty, we got the best of Tom Petty, and then he passed. With Eddie, we got the best. He gave us everything he was capable of giving, and is he leaving us wanting more? No, I'm satisfied with what he had, what we got. It's a good catalog. It's a good story. It's not like they left any loose ends. Even the Dave record, as horribly mixed as it is still it's still an epitaph. They were able to close it out. They started with Dave. They had a story. They ended with Dave. They stood on stage at the Hollywood Bowl. They hugged. Dave said, "You were the best fucking years of my life. And everything I always do, I will always half Jesus to you, Eddie Van Halen." Gave him his props. They mended fences, obviously under the radar with Sammy Hagar. The story is told. We got it. And it's a great fucking story. Immigrant comes to the United States, doesn't know the fucking language, has no money. The whole story, I mean, it is a great, and somebody is going to make a great biopic.
Oh, yeah.
It. Oh, it's the greatest. I think it's like one of the greatest American stories ever.
It's a fantastic story.
Of coming to a country. I mean, $50 and a piano.
Is Caleb
Caleb is so delayed right now.
Amazing. He's amazing. He can talk without even opening his mouth.
That is crazy.
He just wills it.
It's like we're hearing Caleb's thoughts.
Wow. Ball's frozen.
No.
Caleb.
What? Am I here?
We can hear you, but we can't see you moving at all. We're delayed by about 3 minutes.
Mind you read.
Visual.
He's still
This
listening.
is so good.
To Paul. You're still listening to Paul. Let's wait till Caleb interjects.
He's
Here
still
we go. He's
listening to my
thinking.
story.
It's going. Oh, look! It's on repeat over and over.
You're gonna see the moment when Caleb.
He's like,
Here he
"All
goes.
right,
He gets the idea. He's waiting.
I'm gonna kick him in his nuts for that comment.
All right, I gotta say something.
There
There we
There you
go.
go. Oh.
You ruined it.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. Oh, Caleb, you're gonna have to watch this.
This is so good.
What's happening?
We can hear you in real time, but your video is
Oh, there you are.
late, like minutes late.
Hi, Caleb.
There you
we
are.
go. You caught up.
What?
That was great.
Oh my
That
god!
was perfect.
That's good shit right there.
Caleb, take a minute and just rewind and see.
Nah, that's fine.
Good.
No, it's okay. You're back to normal.
Oh man.
So I made people. Made people forget about my underwear and my crotch. Oh, did I say that out loud? Shit.
Oh,
That was an accident.
Wow.
Yeah.
Caleb Rappaport, nip slip, film at 11.
Hey, what'd you call it? Yeah. But anyway, where was I? Yeah. Look, we woke up Tuesday. He was on Earth, and then we went to bed. Van Halen was over. I laid down that night. Van Halen is over, and there's no question. That was like that's what I kept spinning around in my head. Was that Van Halen was over? You know, the center of my life.
The spark
for
is gone.
37
Spark is
years. You know, like literally, like everything that I love. You know, my passion. And it's over. It ended today. That's what I was thinking like all day. It's like, this is the fucking day. Today is the day. October 6th, 2020. Who would have known?
Yep.
Today is the day. I just kept thinking that, like, today, this is the
Yeah.
day. And then like my phone is blowing up, texts, people calling again. My wife checking in. She's like, people are calling me. Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just like frozen here. Okay.
Literally on screen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is like losing a best friend. You know why? Because it's more than your best friend, because you don't hang out with your best friend every day. You know, but I feel like I hang out with Eddie Van Halen every day. You know, I hang out with you guys all the time. You guys I have because of him. You know, this whole community I have because of him. You know, everything kind of, he's the center. I can't imagine what it's like for the families, you know, like when you lose the main person, you know, like, and you're all left, such a hole, like the biggest hole, you know, because all those people are going to hear about for the rest of their lives. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry.
The question is, what does Alex do now? I mean, Wolfgang obviously has his own music. He's going to go do his own thing. What does Alex do? Does he retire and just go off and
Hell yeah.
do his own thing? I mean, does he?
He's
No,
one of
I
these
mean,
curators
Yeah.
now.
but does Alex want to play with anybody? Does he go off and do something on his own? I mean,
Hey.
It's a great question. I don't.
tribute.
I would say that's 50-50. You know,
I don't think it. Did Alex ever play with any other? Was he ever on anyone else's album? Was he ever?
he
No.
plays with John
was
Paul
strictly-
Jones and Jimmy Page and Robert Plant.
You never saw Alex playing with anybody else but Eddie.
Yeah.
And Goodnight, Fruitcake Tony.
Good night, Fruit.
Great show,
Good night,
Fruitcake
Fruitcake.
Tony. Great show today, by the way, on your channel with Steve Rosen. That was awesome.
and Fruitcake Tony, thanks for saying you were thinking about me. I appreciate that. And everybody out there who's watching was thinking about me or any of the guys on the screen. Thank you very much, because
Thank you very much. Yeah.
this is, you know, we're nerds and we're geeks on this shit, but this, you know, this is our family. Like, you know, I haven't touched one of these fucking things. One of them. I haven't touched them.
You know, it's funny.
I can't
can't-
play.
I can't play either, but now that Eddie is gone, I'm thinking I should probably learn.
There you go. There you go. That's how to look at it, man.
You know what I mean? Like I sit back and I've owned these friggin' things. I've owned them for so long, and all the tributes and stuff, and I hack away at them. But what better way to sort of keep the legacy going than to figure out how to do I don't know how to play Eruption. I should probably figure it out.
Let's do a lesson. We'll do a video lesson.
I was just say, I know somebody that actually might be able to teach you.
No, but here's the thing. It's the least we can do. That's the way Jimmy inspired so many other guys when he died. You know, the Satrianis and the Vais and all those guys. It's almost like we have to take that knowledge and put it to use. Otherwise, it was useless. Otherwise, he gave us what sense was that guy existing if he doesn't teach us something, if we don't learn something from it?
That's a great point, Paul. I guarantee you this, because you saw the sales. They went up. The last I saw was like 7,000.
7,000%.
100%. Yeah. So you watch. He's right now. He's influencing a whole nother generation.
There's a whole new generation of people that are hearing Eddie Van Halen for the first time.
Exactly, and they're going to be like, just like we were. What the fuck? And they're going to, but their advantages. They have video. Okay, you know, we had to sit down with headphones on, trying to figure out what the hell he was doing. Right? They have the internet, so that's another path. I mean,
people like Johnny Beane showing him how to play all that stuff.
This really got
Caleb Rappaport.
Eddie, keep playing, or he'll come and find you.
A lot of my old Van Halen videos from 10 years ago are getting thousands of views a day now.
Yeah,
because of this.
So you literally
the art series Carvels are selling for $50,000.
Oh my goodness!
You could have got them for 15 on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, the Van Halen store was sold out.
No, not those. Not yours, Paul.
You said the art series.
The custom art series. I'm sorry.
The good art series.
The ones that he painted
he
himself.
I'm sorry,
the ones he played and autographed.
Yeah. Not that. I'm sorry.
Like the one that what's his name has. We had him on a while back.
There goes that house.
Goebel. Jeff Goebel has one.
There goes that house I thought I was. There goes that house I thought I was never going to buy because I'm not letting my fucking art series go.
I think Steve Vai's tweet. This one got me good, and it's very poignant.
The compete one.
He said, "I'm feeling deep sadness, overwhelming appreciation. The appreciation and love for him is bigger, though. Let's take a minute and try to imagine our world if he never showed up." Right? And he says,
none of us would know each other. First of all,
he says it's unthinkable.
Yeah.
Because of what we all do with a guitar now, right?
Yeah.
Unthinkable.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, "Thank you, King Edward. You are deeply loved and will be missed." And then you find out, and then you read his tribute was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Steve Vais. My top 3 tribute so far are Dweezil first. Dweezil's was sick.
I don't think I've seen his.
If you haven't read Dweezil's,
No.
read Dweezil's. And my favorite line from that was, even if he'd done all this stuff that he was doing, and then he found somebody who had done it or was doing it too, he'd say, "Fuck that, I'll climb another mountain."
Mm-hmm.
And I just was like, oh my God. You know, like, but Dweezil lays it down. If you're out there in the chat, take a look at Dweezil's tribute, because it's not about what Eddie meant to him. You know, it's about what Eddie was. And then that's a little different. My tribute was about what Eddie meant to me. So that's different, but it's hard. I mean, and they're coming out every day. Everyone's writing one. And
Pete Townsend's was amazing because
I haven't read Pete's. Oh shit.
Yeah. Pete has nothing. Pete never has anything good to say about anybody, and yet, you know you're special when Pete Townsend says something good about you.
Yeah.
But Pete Townsend starts it off by saying he was the guy that was asked to play on Thriller first.
Pete Townsend, Phil Collins.
First of all, let's get that out of the way.
A number of people.
Right. But
Brian May.
It's
by the way, Brian May is cancer free, so fucking awesome.
Oh, good. Good. And he had a heart thing this year.
Heart attack,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, he's had a rough year.
This
Yeah,
year, man. Oh,
And he fell and had a rake go up his ass.
oh.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
True story.
It was a news story too. Yeah.
Fell on a rake.
Damn.
Brian May's had a good and a bad year. The good year was his movie was obviously nominated for Academy Awards and won some. The bad news is he got a rake in the ass.
How do you want to be remembered, Brian?
That's the yin and yang of life.
That rake had one mission.
Isn't it bad enough? I fell on a rake. Oh man, it went up my ass.
Did you get hurt?
It went up my ass.
It went up my ass.
Oh, man.
I'm sure he's sitting in the emergency room and they're looking at him and go, "What band?
Which end? Which end though?
Oh, it was the business end. Can you imagine you're sitting in the emergency room? Doctor Brian May is here. Oh, really? What's he here for? Fell on a rake. What band is he in again? Queen. Sure, he fell on a rake.
It's in his arse.
I bet it went up his ass too, didn't it?
Yeah, it's
You're silly,
let me
Jerry.
guess. What
It's in his
part of
bum. It's in his bum.
yes, what part of it hurt him? Rectum. Don't even know him.
Rectum.
Barely even knew him.
Yeah. So
But great news. Two great things. A, Brian May is cancer free, and B, Angus Young and AC/DC are putting out a new goddamn album in 3 weeks, and I can't wait for it.
Couldn't have been a better time, man. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, we could use it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that first tune they released is fucking killer.
It sounds exactly what you want it to sound like. Hard as a rock.
dude, it's 11:05 and we got our first killer.
Killer.
Man, it is so good.
It is good. It's everything we want.
Ned.
Net alert.
Ned,
Ed,
I'm scared. I'm scared to let Ned out tonight though, because I don't know if you guys know, Ned disappeared for like an entire day,
Oh man.
and I couldn't eat. I just felt sick. I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead, literally
No,
all
he's
day.
just Ned.
All day yesterday, and I was
You're gonna-
hurting like you wouldn't believe.
And-
And I was live with Fender Guru, and Jay said, Jay, I never saw the video because he deleted the video, but there's the reaction of Ned walking by behind me because Ned came home out of nowhere, and me seeing him just like,
Hold on, Johnny, sit where you normally sit like you normally sit, right? I literally saw Ned like a black silhouette and a tail go right to under Johnny, like right next to Johnny's left shoulder, just come strolling past like and around and down, and I was like, "The hell?" Because I didn't know. Like I asked you obviously a few hours before that.
because we had talked,
Yeah.
and I told you that he never came home this morning. Usually he comes home at 7 in the morning. Usually I let him in. You know, I have to wake up
After a shift at the factory.
every morning. Yeah, every morning. And he never came in. I left the door open all day long. Everything all day long. It wasn't until 10:30 at night he finally came home, or something.
when was this?
You're gonna have
It was yesterday.
No, dude, it was later than that.
Neds.
It was later than that, dude. I think it was like 2:30 my time because it was right before I went to, literally like a half hour before I went to bed.
11:30.
Yeah, so I think it was probably around 11:30.
It was late. It was late, and so I'm kind of nervous about letting him out. Although he's in the bathroom right now. He's going to sleep. So
Ned's a badass.
What do you think he was doing?
Cats are the apex predator, Johnny. Don't worry about it.
I have no idea where he was because the thing is he sleeps during the day.
You can get like a GPS tracker and you can follow him all the time. You know, they have those
Chip the
for
cat?
callers or something.
Yeah.
Chip them. Chip the cat.
Yeah, but
You get an app and have him on your phone. Put that on the Johnny Bean TV network.
Yeah.
yeah, have a live stream going on. I think I'm gonna keep him in tonight. I mean, he's going to sleep now, but I'll keep him in, and then my wife gets back
Rough
tomorrow.
couple of days.
My wife gets back in town tomorrow, and we'll let him out tomorrow night because you have to let him out because that's what he does.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
you can't- yeah.
get the next day, and Ned goes to the local cat shelter, rescue center, and then the next thing you know, there's a double a population.
Exactly. Dude, Ned's real name is Fritz. All right?
Exactly.
Santa Cruz brings
everywhere. Ned's everywhere.
Santa Cruz 3600 says Ned and Cody should have a play date. Yeah, Cody, we feel for you, man.
I would like to announce that Cody and Ned have met. Not in person, but I was actually on a video call with Janie a few months back, and she showed me Cody, and I showed her Ned.
Nice.
Like they saw each other. So
That's awesome.
Wow.
so that's pretty cool. And I wish Howie could have met Cody, but that never happened. But
A lot of people are saying there are cougars and coyotes in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Yeah, good luck catching a fucking cat. Although the cougar probably could do it, but the coyote, cats are way up. You got to understand, cats are up here on the evolutionary scale. Dogs are down here. Dogs are fucking stupid. And coyotes are just big dogs. And if the cat, unless that coyote gets the jump on the cat sleeping, no fucking way. Those cats will outrun. They're way more agile than a coyote, more often than not.
And they fly.
Yeah, people.
They can fly. A cat can fly when it needs to. It's true.
And a cat can climb a tree, whereas a coyote can't.
And a cat cannot be seen too. Like those are the legendary. Like you don't see the big cats in California or wherever, but coyotes, people see them all the time. Run through someone's neighborhood or something.
My curiosity's killing me like a cat would be killing me. Curiosity, yeah.
All right.
That was wonderful, Jay. That was perfect.
We just do 20 minutes on Ned. That's awesome.
Jay just had a stroke.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, Jay's having a stroke on
Finally
the show.
kicking in.
He's peeking.
I wore this shirt because it's the last shirt, or it's the shirt I was wearing the last time I met him. So it's a very old EVH shirt.
I'm happy to hear that Wolfgang and Alex will eventually go up and curate the catalog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the only other person that knows where everything is Matt Bruck, and he's still going to be involved. I'm sure the estate of Edward Van Halen is probably in very capable hands.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
that's great. Better those guys get a hold of it than some fucking record company asshole.
And they've been gaming for this for a while, and I'm sure Eddie's been giving them.
Yeah, I'm sure
I'm
sure it's all written down. I'm sure the will is very well organized.
Never release that album. I'm sure he's got some of those. Don't release that track, or don't release that show.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, whatever comes out is it's going to be vetted.
It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be some great stuff.
Let's hope 126 brings something, because maybe that would be my theory.
126, yeah.
That would be a good day. So
and
I was also go ahead.
I was going to say it'll be interesting to see how Janie does now, because there are rumors that marriage was not doing well near the end. I'm sure she will be provided for.
Speculate on here. Let's not speculate.
No.
Yeah, she watches this. She watches this.
I understand that. But you can see that her public comments, she was shattered, heartbroken, all those things, and it hasn't been helpful for any of that stuff. I'm sure the last two live streams, her dance partner has been in our chat.
Mm-hmm.
So she watched. She managed. Yeah, she does ballroom dancing. She's a dancer, awesome. And she manages a wrestler.
Yeah,
and his name is Louis, and he's been in our chat the past 3 nights.
I'm sure she's well taken care of, and that Wolfgang and Alex will take care of the business side of everything, and hopefully everybody lives happily ever after as much as they can. The suck part about it is, with all the COVID stuff, it's got to be difficult for them to have any sort of a ceremony, public ceremony. But I bet that at some point. Yeah, but I bet that at some point they'll do something like what they did for Kobe. There'll be some sort of a public ceremony like they did for Kobe, and like they did for Lemmy.
Sure.
And like they did for Dime.
Speaking of the EVH gear stuff, if I were to speculate now, I would think that we might see, especially with Wolfgang, kind of him and Matt, kind of doing the things. Wolfgang's younger, obviously. You might see a few more I don't want to say advancements, but maybe some different things as far as the EVH gear line. You know, and I was thinking about, I'm like, you know, Wolfie's a metalhead. He loves his metal.
7 string.
Yes. I wouldn't put it past him to see an EVH gear Wolfgang 7-string guitar.
Wow.
He's a metal guy.
Yep. And you know damn well that he probably spoke to it with his pop. I mean, you know, what do you
Yeah, and the bass is coming too. And
Yeah,
the bass amps. Yeah.
And not only is he a metal guy, but he's also, you know, because he has his involvement with Tremonti down tunes a lot of shit too. So it makes sense that heavier stuff would be a thing. And obviously, you know, he's made it clear that his music is not going to sound like Van Halen.
Yeah.
Also think about how Eddie's amps were used. They were using a lot of heavy shit, man.
It's the favorite amp amongst all the heavy players.
Exactly.
The heavy players, yeah.
It's been any like metal engineer.
It's been like that for years, though.
Has that head?
Yes.
Or since the PV.
Yeah,
since the PV. The PV is what started that.
Yeah. Yep. But even the newer versions of it. I mean, it's absolutely,
especially the newer versions.
All the guys,
all for that genre.
Like all the guys on the EVH roster are all like heavy.
Scotty Ian loves them. Scotty Ian has a fucking
all
bank
those guys in that roster are all metal guys. There's nobody rocking that, you know.
That PV/EVH sound has become so synonymous with a dark metal sound that it's now a preset on all of the modelers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, they've created that. It's gotten to the point where the Marshall JCM 800 is considered a signature sound. That PV 5150/EVH 5150 sound is now.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Marshall even had to put out the TSL to compete with it and failed. That TSL 100 was a direct response to the EVH and the PV 3-channel amps, and it didn't work. They took it off the market because they couldn't compete. The EVH and the PV amps are the heaviest fucking amps out there. They're great. You got to drive the shit out of them.
Wolfgang basses and 7-string striped series. I don't know if we'll see a 7-string striped guitar unless somebody gets one custom made.
They're working on more 5150 amps anyway. They hired James Brown, who helped design the original block letter 5150 and with PV, and they brought him into EVH about a year ago this time. So he's been working for a year there. So what has he been doing? There's stuff coming. I remember hearing from the guys at the booth that the amp line was going to be paid a lot more attention to in this coming year, which is we're going through now. So there's definitely something coming as far as amplifiers for sure, like a line of amplifiers, I think. So, you know, that be on the lookout for that. I think that's what's, you know, around the corner. And let's hope for the Relic 5150. I think
there's going to be a ton of stuff, man. The floodgates are open. I mean, the archive is open, you know, a lot of it.
You hope that Matt and Wolfgang will keep the quality control at the level where it's at, and they don't allow, you know, the brand to be prostituted like the Les Paul brand has over the years.
I don't see that happening.
Wolfgang's a smart guy. I think
I was gonna say,
absolutely the most capable hands.
Yeah, there's no way. I don't think there's any way at all that Wolfie or Alex would let that happen. Not even remote. Not even.
Well, it's you know, this is Matt Bruck's baby. Okay, Matt Bruck pitched EVH gear to Eddie. Okay, so they created this company together, and Matt Bruck is the push behind it all. Eddie signs off on stuff, you know, like that's kind of how it goes. And so Matt is going to continue, and Wolf comes in and gets Eddie's piece of it, and I'm sure has, you know, as much to do with it. And I think it's good for Wolf. I think it's good for Wolf. You know, like he can run this business, this enterprise for his dad, his legacy, and he can be in charge of his legacy.
He is Van Halen now. Wolf is Van Halen now, you know, and Alex. I mean, but that's the legacy. It's going to go live on through them, you know, in not only in name, but in, you know, everything we get from now on.
And Matt, Wolfie, Alex, they're going to do him proud.
All the curators, you know, Matt as well.
there's 0% chance that this line is not going to continue to be as great as it is and actually improve, because they're going to do it as a tribute.
Which is yet another thing that Eddie Van Halen has over his contemporaries, the Randy Rhodeses and the Jimi Hendrixes of the world, and that is he has a legacy that can continue.
Yeah.
Jimmy doesn't have a kid that continues it. Randy doesn't have a kid that continues it. Now it becomes generational. Even Les Paul, his son, as much as he still plays at the Iridium, is not really the curator of the Les Paul catalog or the Les Paul Guitar Company, or the brand. Gibson still owns that brand, whereas Wolfgang and Alex still have a piece of that and still have some control over that. And obviously, assuming all goes well for Wolfgang, he's around for another 60 years, which means 3 more generations of people are exposed to that brand. And who knows where it goes? And who knows, given Wolfgang's talent, and he is super talented, make no mistake about it. And as we've talked before, incredibly well brought up and well balanced for a kid of his age. Given all the things that could have gone wrong with him as a kid, he did everything right. Eddie and Valerie did everything right. So there's no reason to believe that it's not in capable hands. And who knows, maybe the next generation of Van Halen music goes to another place.
Yeah.
We never thought Eddie could do something outside of Eruption. You go, well, he reinvented himself in Eruption. Then all of a sudden we heard, Sunday Afternoon in the Park, and you go, well, shit, how can he do something else? And then we heard Cathedral, and we went, oh shit, well, how can he do something else? And there's always something else. So maybe Wolfgang has that something else.
Maybe, I think we're going to be surprised and we're going to dig it. It's different.
Yeah.
But just knowing what kind of blood is pulsing through that, it's going to really, I think, be refreshing. Actually, I'll be very excited to hear that music.
Yeah. And he's already been in the spotlight. He's put himself out there in different, just not just playing with Eddie.
And has carried himself with class
at such an early age. Yeah. Yeah. And just like his father, multiple instruments. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's a ray of sunshine is kind of the way I want to look at it.
Man, the day that we get to go see Wolfgang on tour. Sorry.
Say again, John.
If there can be a positive from this thing, it's that Wolfgang can take it to another place.
He gets to spread his wings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, he was going to do it anyway, but he was always going to be kind of, okay, but when are you getting back with your dad?
Yeah. That's true, man. Yeah.
Now it's like that question doesn't happen, and
that's going to be
the only the sad thing is that and I don't remember who tweeted that. I don't know if it was Patrick, his uncle Patrick, but no, it was Patrick's wife on Facebook. She wrote, the saddest thing here is that the most proud father of all time, because of what he's heard from this record, is not going to be able to see how the world reacts to his son's music.
He knows.
That's like that's really hurting, I'm sure, inside that family now, is that he didn't get to see it. And I'm sure there were several dates that have passed, that where it was, but it didn't. It was, but it didn't. So this kid's been waiting for so long. He's had this thing in the can for 3 fucking years, and he can't put it out yet. And now he has to go through the mourning period, the grief period, wait for COVID to end, all this shit. And where are we going to be? So,
well, Eddie will be watching him. So
for the fans, I mean, it's gonna be wonderful to see, what he, I mean, we know what he's capable of, and it's gonna be, and I'm excited to hear it. And like I said, the day that Wolfgang goes on tour, and the day that that's gonna be the day he puts his band together, anything like that,
he has a band.
Well, he's all
ready. Like they were ready to go. So
I know I'll be in the audience.
Oh man,
I know it's probably not the way he wanted to come out from under the shadow of his father.
No,
but it does give him an opportunity to do that a little sooner than he probably wanted to or expected to. But it's an opportunity now for Wolfgang Van Halen to no longer be Eddie Van Halen's son. as horrible as that might sound. Again, if you're trying to turn a positive out of this, what's the positive that can be taken from this? Well, that kid has really had to live with being Eddie Van Halen's son and having that specter over his shoulder forever. His father's no longer suffering, which is great. Obviously nobody wants to see that happen. And he gets an opportunity to be the curator of the entire catalog and now gets to be Wolfgang Van Halen on his own. Again, not the way he wanted it, but sometimes life throws you a curveball.
Yeah, Wolfie is on guitar, by the way. He will be playing guitar, center mic in his band. So,
that's something we've only had.
Maybe jump on the drums because what we've all heard is that Wolfgang is a better drummer than anything that he does, and I've heard that he is a better drummer or rock drummer than his uncle. And
I think didn't he sit in with Alter Bridge once? Isn't there a video of him sitting in with Alter Bridge?
I've seen him jamming, and then just playing, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and he fucking taught himself.
Yeah.
Does it sound
like keyboards? I mean, he
Does it sound like
he copied Sunday Afternoon in the Park on keyboards?
It doesn't sound like
years
anybody
ago.
I know. I heard him play, and it just sounds like
No. I mean, taught himself, Caleb. I mean,
like his dad. Sure,
exactly. Yeah.
Nobody wants to see you play keyboards, man.
You're a
Guitar hero.
Happy birthday, Dave.
It's my birthday today.
Nobody talks about Eddie.
This is about me. This is about you. Today's about me.
Sammy's birthday is coming up this week, isn't it?
You talk to me like that ever again, you better be wearing a cup.
You better be wearing a cup.
A cupcake. It's your birthday.
That's
it's Sammy's
something I
birthday in
wanna
a couple
know.
days.
It was
That's
just
something-
living with the guy.
Right.
He just treated everybody like a little bit lower than.
A little bit
Do
lower.
you
than
think they ever had a physical confrontation? Do you think that they ever wrestled or took?
He always said it was Ed and Al used to go at it, like they
Right, Ed and Al.
the brother,
sure.
the brother thing. Yeah.
Like Sting and Stuart Copeland.
Oh yeah.
Sting.
I mean,
They were
that's
always
another one
wrestling.
that's on film. Yeah. I mean,
Hold on. You mean Stewart was always kicking the shit out of Sting? That's what
right.
Yeah, they actually fought. Like
Yeah.
those three guys.
I don't want to
They
speak
went at
ill,
it.
but I don't want to speak ill of it. But David Lee Roth would have whooped Eddie Van Halen's ass.
Sure.
What?
Dave's
martial
got
artist.
David Lee Roth has two fucking.
That's
black
true.
belts.
Yeah,
He has
you're
two
right.
black
You're
belts.
Right. Think about that.
I certainly don't want to speculate about whether or not I'm sure they went at each other, and Alex and or Mike probably got in between each other.
I'm sure
I'm
Dave
sure,
just
I'm sure that
parried.
happened.
Dave just parried
No.
him.
Yeah. But if that
Dave had a sword in his road case.
wax off, wax on, wax off.
Yeah, you're a guitar hero, man, but you better not. don't make another pass at me.
Let's be honest.
Don't make me pull out the samurai sword.
Eddie weighed a $105 soaking wet, and Dave had two black belts.
True.
Yeah. But
I mean, but Eddie does have guns.
he does.
Just don't go for the hands, man. Just
Yeah.
look up for the
Well,
hands.
that's what I was going to say, John. I don't think they did any of that because Eddie's hands were.
And Dave knows that.
Eddie's hands are Van. It's Van Halen. It's
That's
his
the
hands.
money. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and there was one time in 1982 when that was an issue.
Yeah.
He broke his. That story's classic.
Because what I've heard at a lot of the meet and greets over the years, they would tell you don't shake Eddie's hands.
Right.
Yeah, if somebody gives him like some super duper grip,
Yeah.
Pops
Eddie,
him.
wow,
Dislocates his thumb.
Yeah.
When I met Eddie, when I met him, I shook his hand, and his hands were very soft. I remember, very soft and very 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 firm handshake.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And he was right in my face. He was right in my face
moisturized.
talking to me. I could smell his breath and everything. It was great.
How was the Van Halen breath?
Johnny's like,
It smelled like sausage because he had just eaten these sausage hors d'oeuvres.
Ah,
He looked at Johnny. He looked
It's
at
true.
Eddie and said,
It's a
"You're
truth.
soaking in
That's
it."
great.
It's true. But it was at that moment when I knew he was human.
Wow.
right. because you caught his droplets and everything.
And it was awesome.
And he likes the sausage.
They're a piece of gum, man.
It was
sausage.
that's I mean
I offered him a
not
piece of gum.
not everybody in the world can say they smelled Eddie's breath, you know?
No,
And it was
Or
No.
smelled what he had for dinner.
right?
yeah. It was great.
I always thought it was Dave who liked the sausage.
Speaking of firm handshake,
Rena's was
It's
on
his
top of that
birthday
one.
today.
Come on. This sausage is about me, man.
No, my breath, Johnny.
did all 5 of you? I'm like, did all 6 of you? Did all 5 of you read my thing?
100%.
Some of it.
Yeah.
I did, and
John?
because I had heard the story. I skimmed through some of it that I had heard before, but
Well, I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie
that
to you.
story's classic. That story's
Yeah,
one. I was telling people that story all week.
Over the story of Sam when I first met him, and he put a lot more detail into his tribute, and it's
Oh yeah,
and nobody read it, man. Read it.
I did.
It's on the Nerd Halen Facebook page. You can find
Yeah.
the entire.
This is-
It's something I wrote. It took me. I wept when I saw the Valerie Bertinelli tweet, but it went away, and then I was numb for a few days, and then on Thursday is when I took my kid to this backyard pod that we have him play and with these other kids with masks and stuff, and it's all safe. But I go out to the car, I drop him off, I go back out to the car, and I just got in the car, and I thought about something, and then it triggered just the explosion. You know, it's the full on, you know, like you know, that kind of cry, like seriously, because
Like a
you know,
7-year-old kid.
yeah, where you like kind of lose your breath, and it was real. And you know, I was thinking about what my life would be if I didn't take that walk that night on the soundstage and go backstage. You know, if I didn't do that.
This is how you know how much Eddie Van Halen meant to Caleb. If you haven't read the story, Caleb tells a story about being on the set of One Day at a Time, and he's more impressed by Eddie Van Halen than Valerie Bertinelli.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about that. As a teenager, you're sitting there across from Valerie Bertinelli. You know, you're on the soundstage, and you want to meet Eddie Van Halen and not Valerie Bertinelli. That's how you know the guy's fucking important.
Had you been playing guitar at that time, Caleb?
Only a smattering of acoustic. I didn't have an electric, and I'd given up acoustic already. Like I had my.
So you
folks
were
bought
new
me-
to the guitar, and
I didn't know what I was fucking. Nothing. And but I mean, I had posters of Eddie. I didn't have posters of Valerie. So when you see the poster come to life, you know, it's that's where it's at. So everybody check it out.
It's great.
It took me a few hours to write it just because it was all sort of. I was kind of trying to channel it and go back, you know, because I really wanted to remember the events of that evening because it's 37 years ago. But I do remember a lot of it, just the way it happened, and yeah, he was, you know, for all the music and talent and ability and all the stuff he had, all the gifts he has. The thing that people take away most is that the guy was just a genuine, real person that would make you feel like you were, you know, a good friend, and he was listening to you and asking you stuff that you know when Eddie Van Halen asks you a question like, you know, so where do you go to school? Like, do you play any sports? You know, and you're just like, yeah, I, you know, like it's the weirdest thing. And when he's looking you in the eye. And just read the piece, and you'll know what I'm saying and how it affected me. So, you know, every story has a beginning, and that's my beginning. And I'll write some more stories about.
You got to animate that. Who is it? Cobra Kai, who does the caricature? I'd love to animate, you know, the backstage of you sitting there with 13-year-old Caleb sitting there with Eddie and Alex. You know, the show's over there, but the show's really right here. You know.
No, it was awesome, but yeah, I can't believe like that's, you know, it begun 37 and a half years ago, and it ended on Tuesday. And that's how I feel, like
it's always going to be with you.
It went that long though for me with him here, that's how long,
right?
Because I was chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
We're all chasing him. So
I've been doing this for 35 years, and the entirety of my experience with Eddie Van Halen was like 2 sentences. It was a meet and greet, and I just went, "Hey, Eddie, man, thanks for putting up with all of this." And he went, "You're welcome." That was it. That was the extent of my interaction with him. I have way more interaction with Dave and other guys, but Eddie was just real. That sort of, you've seen the picture a bunch of times.
You've seen the expression.
When somebody says something nice to Eddie or compliments him or something, he goes, yeah. Like that, sort of blow it off. Like the one where he's talking, the video of Jason McNamara, where he's talking to Jason McNamara, he goes, he just was so unassuming about it.
And he mentions it in that little clip about a rock star.
Yeah, he's just so unassuming. He was unassuming. At least that's the Eddie Van Halen I got a chance to see, and obviously the Eddie Van Halen that Caleb got a chance to see. And there's probably another Eddie Van Halen that none of us got to see, but that's good. That goes back to the, the efficiency of that organization where they were able to keep a secret. And let's face it, when they went underground for that period between 1996 to 1998, and then from 1998 to the reunion with Dave, it was fucking radio silence. And we didn't get anything, nothing. And to Caleb's point, Eddie was in the hospital for, well over a month. There seems to be a weird code in Los Angeles. And obviously this is through decades of dealing with celebrities and stuff like that, where there's just sort of a code of honor where there's certain things they just don't talk about. You just don't. Certain people just don't get talked about when they, how many times was Robert Downey arrested and we never heard about it? The great story of Rob Halford now, who just put out a book, and in Rob Halford's book he talks about how he got busted cruising, and I don't know if it was Venice Beach or Long Beach, but at some point he was cruising the bathrooms there looking for hookups, and he got arrested, and as well he should have, and he takes total responsibility for his actions. But this all happened at a time when he wasn't out, and the police never said anything. There is that sort of thing, that culture in Los Angeles where, depending on who the person is, if they're an asshole, the stuff leaks out. If they're not an asshole, for some reason, they keep it quiet. And I guess Eddie was, by all accounts, by most people, was the Eddie we saw publicly, as opposed to the Eddie that we've heard stories about privately. And that's great. Your rap is your rap. You can't erase your legend. And the legend of Eddie Van Halen goes back to what I was saying a couple hours ago, which is we all rooted for him. We all liked him. Everybody liked him. He was like that kid down the street that everybody liked.
That's true. Yeah. Like the kid down the street that everybody knew.
Yeah, they were like, it's the Van Halen kid. Like if he got lost or he skinned his knee, everybody in the neighborhood would be like, I put a bandage on the Van Halen kid and brought him home.
The Ted Templeman tribute is really good too, by the way, with Rolling Stone. So check that one out too. Ted Templeman.
Have you seen the Pete Townsend one? Did you look that one up?
No, I haven't.
No, you'd like it.
I'm going to check it out for sure.
Guys, I got to split. I'm fading and fast.
Jay.
It was good to see all you guys tonight.
Good to see you
Thanks
too.
for hanging out, Jay.
Real good. Johnny? Oh, I can't leave without Johnny coming back.
All right.
Or can I?
Ooh.
Wow.
You fucking rebel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
We'll tell him you said goodnight. Yeah.
Thanks.
Ghosted.
Oh man.
That was like a nanosecond. I'm out of here. Bye.
He was looking for someone to pick,
As soon as he could get out of there.
for someone to take the rap immediately.
I think Johnny X'd him out.
No, I just got here. What happened?
No, Jay had to
We
go.
lost Jay.
Jay,
He had to leave, or he just disappeared.
Plane crashed into his house.
oh,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, all the luck.
He wished he could stay, but he had to.
Of all the random houses in South Carolina that the plane could crash into, it was Jay's.
Oh,
What?
Oh my goodness.
Look, if I had that fucking kind of power, I'd give you the Powerball numbers.
That's true.
Thank you.
Yeah. I wish I were that cool.
Yeah, Clayton, I like your profile picture. It's awesome.
It was funny. I saw a bunch of people here in Phoenix stole my tribute to Eddie Van Halen, just copy and pasted it without attributing it. I'm like, unfriend, you fucking assholes, you plagiaristic pricks.
What, you really? They did?
Oh, yeah.
They just copied and pasted?
Yep.
That's fucking gross.
Oh my God.
It happens all the time. You see it all the time. People will like their political things and it'll say copy and pasted from a friend. That's the mistake they make. Erase that part. Don't just do that. Just, people that don't have an original thought in their head. But it's like weird because part of my tribute told
Jay
went for a cookie.
Look what's in the chat. That's awesome.
You're welcome, Jay.
Oh my God.
But part of my tribute, Caleb, was like talking about how people auditioned for our band and when I went on band auditions and what Van Halen meant. And I'm like, these people that have never fucking played a note of music in their life are putting that as their status update. And I'm like,
right.
The fuck are you doing?
Yeah, and they're getting calls like, "Oh my God, I didn't know he was that important to you." And all.
I didn't know you were in a band. I wasn't. That was the part of the thing I didn't edit out. Just fucking Control C, Control V, post. Good luck.
I haven't written anything. I mean, I haven't said anything like publicly online or anything. This is my form right here. I'm just, and I guess I said a few things Tuesday night, but it's all gonna. I'm not the type.
It'll go. You gotta wait. You can't just do it.
It'll come to you.
Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah.
Like.
Exactly.
I've felt little bits of it. It's kind of little things have hit me. Just little moments have hit hard. Thinking about certain things, but that's kind of the way I mourn. It comes out gradually. I think it's not that I don't think I bottle anything up, but people say I'm good in the crisis. So I've dealt with. I don't know. It's fucking late here.
Well, Caleb knows. I've talked to him about. I was thinking about downsizing some of my Ernie balls and stuff, and I'm like, nope, not now. I'm never gonna let him go.
Dude, I should have just bought one last week.
You should have got one last weekend.
Right.
That's it. Now
I still have that amber.
7K, 8K.
That trans amber. Are you shit? Here's the thing. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with them. I don't have any kids. I have nobody to will them to.
All right.
Like what the hell am I? And I can't.
No,
Lord knows I can't.
Do you need my full name?
Lord knows I can't play them.
You have us.
You have us. Your extended family.
Leave them to the show.
Sure.
We're all on a t-shirt. We're all on a t-shirt together.
Yeah, that's what I'll have to do. I'll just I'll take the t-shirt.
These guys.
Captain, this is officially my last will and testament. So I'm gonna put this in a safe deposit box. And a little note. It's going to be a post-it note that says, "In the event of my untimely death, give all my shit to these guys."
To Johnny Beane TV. To Johnny Beane TV.
Give all of this.
The last one of us gets everything.
Look at all that stuff.
All of this can be yours.
We got to get. We'll get Alex and Wolfgang to go through that. So
yes, good luck with that.
What was it on The Simpsons? Abe Simpson's pact that he had from World War II. The fish, something, the flying hellfish, and then everybody had their key, and then the final person, Burns, came down to Burns and Grandpa, and then they sabotaged each other.
Yeah, Lenny Lou brings up a good point. I'll have Wolfgang be the curator of my shit. Because by that time he'll at least know what to do with all of it. I have no doubt that everything is in good hands. That kid, I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Exactly, yeah.
Despite every opportunity for him to be a complete fuck up Hollywood kid, he has comported himself with nothing but class and grace. And even during this, he has been fucking outstanding because, as we mentioned before, it can't be easy to be Eddie Van Halen's kid, especially for the past few years when Edward has been sick. I'm guessing every time he signed on to social media, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever, it was, "What's up with your dad? What's up with your dad? What's up with your dad?"
Mm-hmm.
And he handled it fucking so good.
It's when I was when I was on with Janie. Let me just say, I was on a live video with Janie for a little bit, and
When?
this was months. This was months ago. This is a long time ago, and
Like a public live video or like a
yeah, it was public. It was an Instagram live.
whoa.
And we jumped in. We were in the same video together, and you know when you go live on Instagram, all your friends get alerted to it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, all the comments are, "How's Eddie? How's Eddie? How's Eddie?"
Right.
And that's when we pulled it. We just stopped the video.
Yeah.
You know. But no. I mean, just think of it. Wolfgang. I mean, he grew up in that studio.
Yep.
Literally, that's his entire life is that room or those series of rooms or that wall of tapes, all that stuff. Yep. So that's his history as well. So you know that he knows exactly what he's doing. He's very smart.
Sure.
And the internet has been very, very cruel to him over the years.
Yes.
Very.
And Jamie.
Very.
Even
And
after
Janie.
the news, I mean, the people who are putting out stories about, you know, Ed's drug use or putting out stories about, you know, him and Val's rocky marriage or whatever it is, it's like people are exploiting, you know, even over the past couple of days after the news of his passing. It's like, you know, someone's always there. It's like those people who were selling shirts the day after 9/11 happened, you know. It's like people who are trying to exploit, you know,
There's always rotten fuckers out there.
Yeah, they're people.
History loves company, man. That's why I mean, what are they gaining from that, right? I mean,
Look,
the sad
they're
part
people.
is they are gaining from it. That's, you know, it's like
No, but they're people, and that's the thing that we forget sometimes is, you know, for whatever reason, and again, in our little bubble of fandom, we think like we own a piece of them because they do touch us in such a way. But, you know, Janie, as I mentioned on Tuesday, Janie can't win because the fucking world wanted Eddie and Valerie to be prince and princess and ride off into the fucking night together, and it didn't work that way. And
but also
because
look at what Janie did for him. My God.
right.
I
No,
mean,
absolutely. She's a fucking saint. But she's also not a public figure.
right.
She's been sort of the private figure behind the scenes, and obviously their publicist. And it's just not easy to be the spouse of anybody in the entertainment industry. It's just a fucking shitty industry in that way. Ask anybody that's any of those Hollywood marriages that have fallen apart. So now imagine you're the wife and the stepmother of the greatest guitar player in the world and his son, and his ex-wife is still very much in the picture. That's a fucking tough weight to bear. And now she's dealing with some really shitty stuff. And the internet is the fucking worst thing in the world when it comes to shit like that, because look at what's going on in the 77-84 thing. The guy that posted, "Don't you wish it was Dave instead of Eddie?" Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you
When was
asshole.
that?
Oh, it's on there. There's a little. It's a post in the.
Right now, I just saw it.
It popped up. It's in there, and it's like.
Let me see, because I get all that stuff as being.
Can we
reported.
ban him live on this show? Let's ban him live.
that motherfucker.
Ban that motherfucker. It's screen share that.
Let's
ban.
see, who was that?
ban that prick.
You got it?
By the way, we're live in there right now. So
Well, you know what? If you're watching this, fuck you, kid. Fuck you. You're an asshole.
let me see.
There's something seriously fucking wrong with your wiring.
Twisted fuck, man.
Right?
Seriously, man.
Should have been Sammy. Okay, it should have been Sammy.
It should have been.
There it is.
Mitch
19.
Malloy. Mitch Malloy, because he's inconsequential anyway. Who fucking cares?
Should we say the
Oh.
I kid.
name?
I kid. I'm sorry,
Here,
Mitch Malloy. If you're watching this.
3 hours ago.
How
Yeah,
many, how many
fuck that guy.
responses? How many responses?
A lot.
633 comments.
Yeah,
189. Oh.
yeah. That guy. That
Wait,
guy's
save it.
Osama. That guy's Osama bin Laden famous
Wait,
in the Van Halen world right
Don't delete it. I have to read it.
now. You have to read the comments.
Can we go through it right now?
It is.
Live. Let's do it live.
Let's do it
Fuck that
live.
guy.
What a
Fuck
douche.
that guy.
Wow, another douche named Eric. Can't believe it.
No way.
Okay.
There's two of them.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to do that.
I gotta
tell you, All right.
Yeah, you know,
I
he's
have-
trying to.
I would.
Oh
I
my God.
put out a public statement, but nobody read it.
Yeah, literally.
I have. I did a tribute show. You know. I'm not sure if you know. I did a tribute show. Did you? Yeah. You're on the internet.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. We can't.
So that's and by the way, kudos to everybody in the Van Halen 7784 page on Facebook that are ripping this guy a new asshole. Congratulations.
Wait, is there another page that's 7784? Just kidding.
Is that what it was at 70? Is it 7084?
78.
Yeah, my mistake.
I should change it to 70 to Van Halen 77 to 85.
Right, change the title like to add all this. Just add it to like the rest of the years, like just say 78 to 2020. See what happens.
1900 to 2020.
Right, 1955 to 2020.
So this guy's first post
my
in 2014.
Kind of good, right?
Just thinking of it now, sounds like Eddie isn't playing on Big Bad Bill. Is that true? Only one?
What?
That was this
Is
guy's
the same
first
guy?
post.
The same guy?
Yeah. That's the
Oh.
first one I could find anyway.
This guy's definitely got a couple of fucking marbles loose.
I love this. John Biel has already gone back to his first post. He's going back. He's going to kill his family and his children. He's going back and make sure, like, John Biel is developing a time machine so he can go back in time and kill this guy's mother so he's never been born.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
It's got to be an algorithm that searches for that line right there.
Too soon?
That's it. We're off the air.
Oh, shit.
I'd like to thank the Men in Black for joining the show tonight. Hello, everybody. I would just like to say airport and bomb. Let's just get those things in there, too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Where's the DeLorean? Where's the DeLorean? Let's go back.
It's a great show. And now it's gone.
He's 12 beers in.
Oh, man.
No, I'm good.
I will say that there's been a lot of misinformation out there. Yesterday I was looking at, inevitably comes like the top 50 Van Halen songs, top 30 Van Halen songs. The first one they put out there was, it was the wrong album. It was Dirty Movies, and they said it was on Women and Children First.
Yep, we're done. We're done here. No, I can tell you, as somebody who has some experience with the United States Secret Service, what they will do if you make a statement such as that and you say certain words that tick off an algorithm, they will go back, they will review the tape, they will review the tape and try and figure out whether or not they should open a file on you. I'm just telling you, that's what they'll do. And we'll be fine. They'll review it and they'll go, he's just a fat guy with long hair. He's good.
He said it.
He's just a fat guy with long hair drinking beer.
Wait, who's this Ernest Borgnine looking guy that we got?
Oh, here you go.
Trust me.
Rest in peace.
The feds are focused on Michigan right now. My Modelo beer is not none of their concern.
This will be the next poster.
That'll be in post offices all around the country. Have you seen this guy?
Have you seen either of these guys?
Fucking uncanny. There's got to be some genetic connection.
It's gotta be.
Gotta be.
It's just too eerie.
There is
DNA is just.
No
oh my god!
It doesn't happen.
And keep in mind, Paul got his teeth fixed.
I did get my teeth fixed because I did have that space.
You had that gap too.
He would have been 99% there. The eyebrows, maybe that's where that's about the only thing that.
Paul, you got to black out. You got to black out the middle.
You got to grow your eyebrows, Paul.
Black out the middle, man.
Let them curl around, Paul. Stop shaving them off.
I have to.
Even the hairline. Look at the hairline.
Oh yeah, no, it's the same. I have to. If I can find an old picture with the gap, I'll send it to you.
Wow.
We'll be putting that in the Discord.
The face. I mean, my goodness. You got to get Cobra Kai on the.
I could do worse.
Johnny.
Yeah, Cobra Kai's gonna hop on the payroll, man. Cobra, I'm gonna send you one of those T-shirts that I made, man.
Might as well. We did appropriate his art.
Huh?
I said we might as well. We did appropriate his art.
That's a good point. It's extra large. That's the only extra ones I have. So I'm gonna.
So I hope you're an extra large.
Yeah, if not, shrink the fucking thing. I don't tell you.
I hope you're not a little person.
No, okay, aside. I'll have another one made up. in the size, if that's too big for you or too small, whatever.
I've got
you
the only
deserve
two.
that.
I think I've got the only 2XL
Yes, you do.
because Ernest Borgnine.
Santa Cruz brings up YouTuber guitarist that it's likely not Eddie on Back to the Future tape.
Wrong.
Well, we've known for that's just recently people.
Who is that?
Discussing it.
Who is it that said that?
Yeah, ban that one, Pooh.
Santa
Go,
Cruz
ban him.
3600.
Ban him. Fucking ban him.
Who is that?
Ban that motherfucker.
It's one of
No,
your
there's-
friends, Santa
there's-
Cruz
just got
friends.
angry.
There's a TMZ video of them where Alex and Eddie, they're like in an
Yes.
airport and they're riding up
Someone's
an
asking
escalator and they're like, Eddie, was that you on that? And he's like, yeah.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, that was me. I just made a bunch of noise.
Yeah, we've known it for years. I mean, it's all stuff from.
That's how I got into Van Halen. So I hope that really was him because
Whoa. Hey.
Johnny, back off.
Johnny. Levels.
What's up with the microphone levels?
whoa.
That's the most excited Johnny Beane has ever been.
Ever been.
Well, that Back to the Future riff. I mean that's the whole. That's how I became a fan. Was
Right.
that?
Yeah, and if you knew, I mean, I think it was owned. Whoever did the music or whatever, whoever owns the music for the Wildlife owned Universal Studios or something, owned that those masters
MCA.
and used.
It was
Universal
released
from that.
it was Universal, but MCA put
Universal.
out this. MCA.
So
put
was
out
there a
the-
tie-in between Wildlife and Back to the Future? I know that was the music was from those sessions, wasn't it? The
My
music
guess
that they
is
used in Back to the Future.
I'm only speculating,
Huh?
but somebody will have to confirm or refute this. But I think Michael J. Fox, obviously as a fan, asked Robert Zemeckis to get it done. I think that's how that went because obviously there are a couple of Van Halen references in the
Yeah,
movie.
there's tapping in the
tapping at the end
screen,
there. Yeah. So I think Michael J. Fox was a fan.
Sure.
And Zemeckis being the director probably reached out and, remember that was the time when Eddie was not allowed to do anything outside of Van Halen.
Mhm.
Because even though that movie didn't come out until 85, I'm guessing it was shot 2 years earlier.
Michael J. Fox probably had met him.
It was
before
shot in
the film.
'84. It was filmed in
so
'84.
All of that was done during that time that Dave was telling Eddie he couldn't do anything, and Eddie went off
Look
and
at
was
Ed's
like,
haircut. What year was that? 84, 85, 86?
Well, that's them
that's
at like
85.
that's the premiere of Back to the Future right there. So
Yeah,
that's
so 85.
85.
And I heard that in the early shooting, Eric Stoltz did a Ingve lick.
Oh, wow.
And then they said, you know what, Ingve's not working. We're gonna get somebody else.
and Ingve was like, "That's it, you've unleashed the fucking fury. You've unleashed
what
the
if-
fury. Come on, I'm right here. Give me your guitar."
What if the Huey Lewis role was played by Ed?
That would've been cool.
The guy doing the auditions.
Would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been
It would
great.
have been like
Yeah.
Fee Waybill and Clarence Clemens.
But I think the cameo
way
was
better.
just that little cameo, the name when you see that Edward Van Halen and Edward, not just Eddie.
Dude,
Edward
when I
Van
saw
Halen.
that in the movie theater, I mean that was
I probably didn't recognize it when it was in the movie
I
theater,
was
but
like,
after
are you
watching it on
fucking
video,
kidding me? Like,
you did, yeah.
kidding me?
Yes,
And
Randy, we
19
get it. The Back to the Future riff was from Donut City. We heard you the first 3 times.
Actually, well, that's not true.
I know, but he
It's
keeps
from
saying
the
it.
sessions.
The Back to the Future riff was from the movie The Wildlife, where Christopher Penn is falling out of the window.
Right.
He's
getting-
falling off the roof, spying on his girlfriend as she's like topless.
Here
Yes.
comes some next level nerd shit right here.
Yeah. I know exactly. I know
Johnny
exactly
Beane.
all that.
With the SmackDown.
In fact, yeah, I started working on that video too. The comparison between, I have that somewhere. The how I put down like the MTV versus Live Without a Net. I have
Yeah.
somewhere Back to the Future versus Wildlife soundtrack.
Oh, cool.
crossed over.
Like side
I'll
by
have to post
side.
that. Yeah, I'll have to post that.
You post it on your channel so you can get the copyright on the.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not going to post it on your channel. I'm going to give you.
I will
any
tell you.
credit for that.
When I did the tribute show the other day, I don't know who the guy was because he didn't identify himself, but he did request Catherine, which I thought was some, again, next level nerd shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Had no idea it was from a porn movie.
Right?
Thought it was about Eddie's mom. which I thought was funny. He's like, yeah, that song he wrote for his mother, Catherine. I'm like, what?
Eugenia?
Eugenia? Yeah, that's a good title. What? Change it to Catherine.
Be Catherine.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Eugenia is Catherine in
Indonesian.
In Indonesian, yes.
Polynesian,
Yes.
or whatever. No, sorry, Filipino. No, what is she? No, she's
Indonesian.
Indonesian. Sorry,
Indochina.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Crazy.
But I was surprised, when you're doing a Van Halen tribute, that's what. And again, I'm sure it's, as is always the case, you get somebody that tries to be a topper, calls up the radio, says, "Bet you didn't know about this one. You can't find it. Bet I know a song that Eddie Van Halen was on that you don't. Bet you don't." Bet you don't. John Biel.
Come in here. Hey, they're both pointing north, by the way. Just let you know.
What about that one tune? The that bass player. What's the bass?
Roger Waters?
No. Don't leave me this way. That song. What's his name? He has this album, and I swear it's Eddie on the solo. I mean, there's never been anything that's been confirmed.
That's the one you played a couple of months ago that we were listening to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Something Brew. Something.
That's him.
What's his?
Jack Bruce.
No, not Jack Bruce. John Biel.
Look back at the chat that we had.
They jammed together at NAMM. There's footage of them playing together at the NAMM show in the 80s.
It's gonna take too long to
that reminds me. I did play Have Love Will Travel too. I played a piece of that during the tribute show.
What man? Anyway, what was I gonna say?
Wow.
Yeah, there was something else he got credit for that I didn't realize that he played on. It was like another cover tune.
Thomas Dolby.
I don't remember.
The Thomas Dolby record.
Oh man, that was great. I had that.
I don't think I ever heard that.
He played on 2 Thomas Dolby songs on in Dolby's 92 album.
Yep.
He does one where actually does the solo, and there's one where it's just rhythm.
It's funny though, for a guy like that to try to like surreptitiously show up on somebody else's record has got to be difficult, because as we all know, no matter what guitar he picks up, we've seen the video of him with that Fender Strat. That's not his rig. There's none of that distortion, none of his effects, none of that stuff. But the minute he grabs that guitar, it sounds like him because it's in the fingers.
It's in the fingers.
Did you read the Vi piece?
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, when they were hanging out at the lockout, at Steve Vai's lockout with his rig.
Yep.
He's playing it, and then he hands the guitar to Ed through Vi's rig.
Yep.
And then he says that.
But Vi has that same thing.
Yeah. Of course. Well, because
when Vi drops a legato run on when Vi grabs any neck and you hear him rip into his legato, you're like, oh, that's Steve Vai. Nobody does it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's what they're doing on the instrument. It's not what it's
not the gear
projecting a sound.
Right.
It's what's being done, and that only comes from the sole person. So
the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Ted Nugent said the same thing in the opposite. He said that he tried to play Eddie's rig, and it sounded like Ted Nugent. Didn't sound like.
He asked him. Yeah, he's like, "Can I try that? Man, it sounds great." He's like, and then he handed it back to him. He's like, "Well, what are you doing? What did you change?" Yes, what did you change on it?
It was just feeding back nonstop.
Yes,
right, because he didn't mute like Eddie. So.
Yeah, Eddie can control that. Yeah. And also, can we get 100 thumbs ups, please?
And Jerry Cantrell too. That the big famous story about Jerry Cantrell on the Alice in Chains '91 tour, when Ed had just got the EBMM and the rig, and Cantrell was standing on the side of the stage. He goes, "Here, check this out. Try this out." So Cantrell takes the guitar, starts playing it, and he goes, "It doesn't sound like Eddie." Hands it back to him. Eddie picks it, and it fucking sounds like Eddie. He's like, "What the hell?" It's a great story. I mean, when enough people tell the same story, it's got to be true.
But wasn't it Cantrell went home on vacation, and in his garage he had a whole
guitars, yeah.
He had the guitars and the whole rig. I don't know if that was the story.
He had 4 stacks, actually.
Yeah.
He had a whole back line.
They got a whole back line, and then the guitar, and that guitar got stolen. It was a gold tie.
2 guitar, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
reading a
blue-
Facebook post. Go
Go ahead.
God. Yeah. I was reading a Facebook post from a friend of mine who saw Van Halen in '91 in Maine, Lewiston, Maine, or Augusta, Maine. It's one of the main arenas. And again, a story of the opening that Alice in Chains got booed off the stage. I never had heard that, that happened, but I know there was a little bit of, people didn't really know Alice in Chains at that point in early '91 or whenever it was. Late 90s.
It was Man in the Box,
Yeah,
was,
and
yeah.
Different like Maine. Paul and I know what Maine people are like. They have a reputation, just like Massachusetts people have a reputation, or LA guys have a reputation, but
They're nice people.
or the complete opposite,
Yeah. Or you hear banjos like Deliverance.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's the South of the North, basically. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean.
Yeah. If all you have to do is Google skinheads from Maine, which is
But
about
anyway,
Oh,
I guess
four
you
on
could
the West
see that happening. People getting booed. As much as people booing Black Sabbath after Van Halen opened for them. That kind of
Jay
thing.
Giles got booed off the stage in the 1981 tour when they were opening for the Stones, which was fun.
So did
Prince got booed off. Yeah.
Like Coliseum. He actually got things hit. He was getting hit with bottles and cans and shit.
In Boston, Alice in Chains got booed off the stage opening for Extreme at the Orpheum Theater.
Wow.
Tough crowds.
Yeah, look, being an opening act is never fun unless you're better than the headliner.
I remember walking into Alice in Chains playing in Providence, and I thought they were great, man. I mean, and there's recording of that. I years later I found the audio of that, which is really, I mean, they had a great set that night.
Alice in Chains may be the best
Alice
of those.
Chains.
Yeah, they may be the best of those. That big four of grunge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they definitely have the most unique sound.
Well, they're the most diverse. They can go everything. They're a lot like Van Halen. They can go pop and mellow and sort of acoustic and be super heavy.
Right, but that combined vocal is theirs, all their own, and will be
Very unique vocal. Lane Staley had such a unique voice.
serious. And they have very similar voices. When you
I was listening to Mad Season. You guys, we talked about that last week.
Jerry's singing, and you think it's Lane. It happens a lot in their music.
Yeah.
You think it's Lane, it's not.
Well, that's like Roger Waters and David Gilmour. I mean, their voices are very similar. And
well, I mean,
not that you can't tell them apart, but it's like, they seamlessly blend their voices in a lot of their recordings, a lot of their songs. Townsend and Daltrey are very different. Townsend and Daltrey, something like that, very different. McCartney
say what you will.
and Lennon.
The Beatles.
Yeah, all the Beatles
very
sound
unique
very
to their own.
Yeah.
Say what you will, but Sammy and Mike work better than Dave and Mike.
Oh yeah,
Sammy and Mike worked really well.
It's two musicians
Yeah.
that understand.
Yeah,
each other.
back in the Roth era, it was Eddie and Mike, and then when it was Sammy and Mike.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Sammy and Mike are really, really good together. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a fantastic
Mike
two-part.
Still.
He can hit those high notes, man.
Yep.
Still to this day,
Yeah.
they're great together. And our condolences to Sammy and Mike.
Yeah, no, that video was tough to watch too.
Tributes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were they playing? They were playing Catalina Island. What was
Catalina.
that? Did they rehearse there or?
No, they were doing the bash there instead of in.
Oh, Sammy's
Mexico.
bash. Okay. Interesting.
No, I really feel bad for Mike because, I mean, I feel good that he was able to. It appears that they were talking and that, that they were able to clear their stuff up. And
Well, was it NAMM this past year that Mike was? I mean, he wasn't able to talk about anything Van Halen.
the year before.
Year before, okay. But he had. I think he kind of hinted that he was in communication with them, and
No, he
that was just
said-
before the rumors of
he never
the.
hit, yeah. At
next
that
reunion.
point, it was still just the Roth referrals in like November of the original thing. He said
Was
something
Mike
about-
there this year?
No, I don't think he was.
Oh no, he wasn't. So it was last year. We were in line, and Kevin Dugan was screaming at the line saying, "Hey, no questions about Van Halen." He's like, "No questions about Van Halen." And when I had my selfie stick with my phone, he was like, "You're not going to interview him, are you?" And I'm like, "No." And I went to take a little movie, and my phone all of a sudden, my old phone. Remember the one that had the duct tape on it? Yeah. I went to film us together, and it was out of space, like all of a sudden. So I got no out of space. So I got no footage of us together. But
what do they call it? Like an EMP or something?
But he signed my. That's when he signed my poof shirt, and he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And then of course with Caleb at Guitar Center with Mike on the channel.
That's why he knew you wanted to interview him.
Was that afterwards? Or
you were before. Yeah. You were first, and then the NAMM was after. So you think
he remembered? He must have remembered
the poof shirt because of that.
Yeah, the poof shirts.
It was only 7-8 months before. So
yeah.
That was.
I have that poof shirt. Thank you, Caleb.
That was a fun. Yeah, no, dude, that had to go back to you. Are you kidding?
Absolutely. Happy to have it.
Is it framed yet?
It's just hanging in my closet. I haven't worn it. I wore it once or twice. You
don't wear a shirt that has a signature on it.
No. You certainly don't wash it. I'm not going to wash it, so I wear it on very special.
Especially a white shirt. You don't want to wear a white shirt.
There's a nice ring around the collar at this point. There's a nice ring around the collar.
I will tell you, I always hoped to be able to get Eddie to sign one of my guitars.
I want to thank Jason McNamara. He gave me the Eddie Van Halen, the promo card that he got signed. I won that from years ago on the Johnny Beane show.
Wow. Speaking of that, sort of,
Jason,
a good friend of mine who's for years tried to get his guitar signed for years and years and years, and it did not happen. He was close many times. It could never happen for this reason or that. My friend Michael Gutierrez, he'll be on the show this Friday, talking about his stories with Eddie. Because he was around Eddie at NAMM for a lot of years, and he's the guy that won the Kramer guitar at the '85 NAMM show.
And I was there. I watched that happen from the edge of the booth.
You saw that. You saw that.
Tears
there.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael will be on the show this Friday, and he'll have the guitar. And
Caleb will be there to kill him and take the guitar.
Should have been mine.
Caleb still has a grudge. He's still holding a grudge 35 years later.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I still have to make the the flyer and everything, but here's like a picture that I might use. There's Michael and Eddie together in '85 right there.
Eddie with padded shoulders.
Yeah, he wore the hell out of that Dice shirt. Is he still wearing that Dice shirt?
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
The whole tour.
Wow.
Previous year.
Look at that.
What do you suppose the cocaine content in Eddie is in that picture? Look at those eyes again.
In the threads of that shirt.
Look at the eyes again. Just put that thing up. Isolate that and put that up again. Eddie is just
gacked.
Just gacked.
No, krelled.
Yes. Krelled. Look at that thing. Look at that. God, I can almost brush my teeth in the glaze of his eyes.
That's a great picture.
It is a great picture.
Man, smile.
Awesome.
Michael was 17 there.
Wow.
Now he's in his.
Looks like he could. Eddie probably asked to buy beer for him.
Eligible. He wasn't fucking eligible to win the guitar.
Uh-oh. Caleb still wants his guitar.
Calling my lawyer.
Oh man.
Anyway, Michael will be here this Friday, and it's going to be.
That's cool, man.
He's a good friend of mine. Actually, Michael, you know Michael. We hung out last NAMM.
That's right.
We took a bunch of Ubers together with. Yeah. So you know him too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool dude, man.
Eagle River.
I mean, cool, Michael.
So maybe he'll give me the guitar then?
I've played it.
35 years later.
I've played it. But the story is he's tried to get Eddie to sign that guitar for years. Because he saw Eddie every NAMM.
He never signed it.
No, he never signed it. He would see him at every NAMM show. He would see him. They would hang out. Michael has so many stories with Eddie. So many.
Did he just forget? Like,
where it's just them. Where it's just them together, just hanging out. You know? No. Well, you'll hear about it this Friday. You'll hear all the stories.
That's gonna be a blast. That'll be a blast, man.
So that's the teaser. I still have to make the flyer for that, but yeah, this Friday, Michael Gutierrez with his Kramer guitar from Eddie Van Halen. I totally get
why he never got it to sign it. I mean, I don't know how many different musicians and bands over 30 years that you meet that you don't take a picture with. Like, I never got a picture with certain people.
That's one thing I regret.
Signed. Yeah, you never get a picture
in concert
you always
production.
Think you'll see him again.
I wish I had a guitar that I just could have brought with me every time. I mean, I had that Mexican Strat, but I got that in the last years that I was working there. And just to have, if I had like a Squire Strat among all the shows that I ever worked at, you know, I would have had signatures from, you know, dozens of you know, legends.
But it's weird because you never want to ask them for it, you know, when you're doing something professionally because
right. Oh yeah.
You know.
I mean, same with you. You know what I'm saying. You know, it's like, yeah. I mean, it's not part of the job, so you can't.
No,
really...
they're just there to hang out and do their thing, and you don't want to.
Yeah, but you know what? You got the memories, though, man. I mean, you have the memories.
I mean, that's the thing.
That nobody else has, and that's special.
Yeah, no, and that's.
I thought you had a beak neck on that, Caleb. It looked like you had a beak neck.
I did.
Is that what you're going for? Okay.
Yeah, like
you gonna cut it?
The beak neck.
I think it's kind of cool. It looks like the Oz Festival, and it's not.
Yeah.
Just get a sander, get a hand sander, and sand that fucker down. You can't.
No,
right?
He didn't.
You're right. I can't.
He didn't cut the fender thing off. He actually put a new neck on it. Right. That's not like. But it is the fender. The beak neck. The beak neck is basically that cut off, right?
Kramer used Strat necks until they got
and cut them
off.
Mm-hmm.
And then they
then they just cut.
They cut that. They went in to all their Strat heads.
Wow,
and did
that's
that.
crazy.
And just and made it different. Yep,
that's cool as hell.
Yeah, I think I sent Caleb the listing of there was an old Kramer Pacer with the original Strat neck, and the guy wanted way too much money for it. But it was exactly the same guitar. It was
that's
the Pacer
first
special.
note you played, Caleb.
That was the first thing I played.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep letting it build. That's what I was doing. Let it build.
What you should do is write an original in tribute.
Yes.
Have you not picked up the guitar in a few days, or?
No, Caleb, write an original in tribute. Send me the tracks, and I'll write lyrics to it, and we'll write a tribute song to Eddie Van Halen.
Hey, it's 316 over here.
Oh,
316. That's like the first and one of the only Van Halen songs I know from beginning to end I can play on the guitar.
Can't play any of them. None of them. None. Zero.
Unless it's You Really Got Me or something like that. But.
Zilch. Zero. Can play the beginning of a bunch of them.
Oh, out of tune.
I'm your typical party guitar player. The guy that sits down with the guitar and can play the intro to a song and then goes, no. Nope.
Oh, it's out of tune.
now we're gonna get flagged.
Not because it's let's see.
Not because of my CIA talk, but because of you playing copyrighted music.
Nothing to do with CIA.
Yeah, a little flat there.
Who can play Cathedral?
You need new strings.
On an acoustic. Who can play Cathedral on an acoustic?
You need new strings. That E sounds like shit.
Cathedral on an acoustic.
3 weeks ago.
That E sounds dead.
Oh, we got a guitar question. Oh my God. Jesus Rapes Me. Great name. Caleb, have you played the Shark? Does the Frankie neck feel way better than the Shark? I want one. I want one or the other, but okay.
People were raving about the Shark when that came out.
The Shark's great. You know, the Shark when I played it at NAMM, I was pleasantly surprised. Is it? No, it's not the same neck at all. In fact, the Shark has a finish on the back of it. It's painted and it's actually striped on the back of the Shark neck. But this neck, no, this neck's great, and you know, everyone's talking about it. So it's thinner. It's got it's not a round profile on the back. It's kind of, they call it C shape, I think, and or D shape. I forgot, but it's just thin like a Charvel from the mid '80s. It reminded me of that, where the fretboard was a little more flat than the Wolfgang profile fretboard, and
the damn thing's magic, man.
Yeah,
That
if you're thinking of Shark or Frankie, I don't think there's a contest.
Frankie all day long.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to own a guitar without a Floyd. So the Shark is a hardtail. So it's up to you though.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me my opinion, the Shark is very good, but this is the best guitar that they've released. You know, that's not an American Wolfgang. So there you go.
They get better every year. Every new Stripe Series production guitar is better than the last.
It's ridiculous.
It's
funny
true.
because, but they you know, even the Wolfgang standards that people you normally think as an entry level guitar, for an entry level guitar, it plays better than a lot of companies mid priced or boutique guitar. I mean, it really is. The quality control on those guitars is really well done for the dollar that you're paying. The ROI on that is insane.
Mm-hmm.
They really do a great job of them.
And they're going to keep that up too.
Hopefully.
You know,
Yeah.
years to come.
Yeah, well, I mean,
gonna
their stuff is years in advance. You know, like when I was there. I mean, when I was there at EVH, I saw stuff that was going to be in production, and it was like 4 years later. That's when the stuff hit the street.
Right.
You know,
They don't just roll shit out.
no, they work on the stuff for years.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they already have stuff for the next several years already planned.
In the pipeline. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Come on, everybody pick up a guitar. Let's do 316. There you go.
I play it incorrect, but who cares? If it sounds right, it is right.
Sounds good. It is good.
We're all slightly out of tune, but that's okay.
I'm in tune.
You guys are standard, right?
I don't even know if I'm in tune. I haven't touched this guitar in a long time. I just broke it out because for obvious
I haven't
reasons.
played this. I haven't played this for years, so I don't know.
I will tell
the
you.
84 for years.
Well, no, I mean the song. That song. Oh. I used to play the song years ago. Like literally, I learned the song by ear when the record came out.
By the way,
then,
you didn't learn it off Live Without a Net?
this is
I
the
learned
closest
from
I'll ever have to Eddie Van Halen signing
Guitar
on.
player, I think. Guitar World or Guitar Player.
That's the closest I'll ever get to Eddie Van Halen actually signing one.
A fake EVH signature.
Like a decal.
The
A
decal,
decal.
the decal
The decal.
that our boy Craig did.
Craig CHS Custom Guitars.
Hey, any tips on painting this, Caleb, or anyone, Johnny, that has?
Yes, here's the first tip. Make sure that you like give it a massage and make sure that all the tape.
Yes,
is
I
completely
did that. Yes,
edge-
all the
edge
seams.
stuck. They call it edge
Yes.
stuck.
Yeah,
So-
I did that.
That's the key. When
Yeah.
you paint it, don't wait like way long.
How many coats?
I would
Do you
wait.
think?
I would wait like 2 hours and then peel it. I wouldn't wait too long.
Okay, how many coats do you think, though? I have
For
two
whi-
cans
for
of
which?
like Wimbledon white, I think it is, or something, or basic white from.
You're probably gonna have to do 3 or 4 coats.
Yeah.
So, but don't do too much. Like in painting guitars, especially, it's called less is more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if you goop it in any spot, like it'll never solidify, and then it'll turn into like a little can. It's awful. It'll ruin the whole paint job. So
We'll see how I do. Maybe next week I'll be able to show it.
Side to side.
Yeah. Good distance, like 2 or 3 feet. You're right. Yeah. Or how close do you go?
2 feet.
2 feet. Yeah. We'll see.
It's just
I'll get the 1/8-inch stripes tomorrow, I think. So I'll put those on this week. I didn't realize they were 1/8-inch stripes. The smaller stripes are 1/8-inch actual.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said they were actual pinstriping though. Is it paint on the original or is it pinstripe tape?
On the original, that was pinstripe electrical tape.
Wow. I'm gonna paint mine, so I got pinstriping tape. I'll just use that as masking tape. Hopefully it works.
Yeah.
You'll see the epic fail next week.
you're just going black and white, right?
Yes, for now. And that's one of the at least down the line, if I decide to go with the red and to go full Frankie, I can do that.
Go full Frankie.
Never go full Frankie.
Oh, you got me, fucker.
Renus, that's a pickup.
Sean
It's an EVH Wolfgang pickup.
Yes.
Walked out empty-handed.
Out of his Circles guitar that he got rid of.
From the Circles or the Star. It's one of them. Actually, Chip Ellis sent me one.
Ooh.
Chip.
That's a nice drop.
We're good friends, and condolences to Chip because he was very close to Eddie for a lot of years, working on a lot of these guitars. But yeah, no, Chip's a good friend of mine, and he sent me actually not that one. I have another one that I'm waiting to actually I've got guitars that I'm planning to put together, Wolfgang's, and anyway, Chip sent me a one of those, and so it's gonna go into a Wolfgang soon.
Cool. Are we good?
Yeah, we're late tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have the gossip hour. But Jay left, so maybe not. All right. Love you all. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching John BL's program tonight.
Thank you.
I mean, this is his
I'll
show.
take full credit. Happy to take full credit. But,
Long live the king. Long live.
Yeah.
Long live the king.
The king. King Edward. Thank you.
There can be only one.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, he's it. And now that we're done, we can say we can say that the actual Saturday Night Live actually had Jack White doing a tribute to Eddie tonight.
I specifically recorded it because I knew there'd be something on there, and I think somebody else said that. Who else? The comedian Bill Burr had a tribute to him on SNL too. I think.
Wow.
It would have been great.
At least I saw that in the chat.
Would have been great if they replayed Stompin'. That would have been a great thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So good.
Yeah, I saw that when it was actually aired.
Me too.
I remember.
Yep.
It was funny.
I couldn't believe it.
Are you kidding? Valerie Bertinelli's going to be on SNL. I was like, I'm watching.
At home with the Van Halen.
I was hoping it was going to be WWF's main event at that time. 1987, was it? 85, 87?
87.
87. I was hoping
March 87.
I could care.
What I
I
love
could have
is-
cared less about SNL.
At the end of it, when G.E. Smith goes over and like puts his hand on Eddie's shoulder, like, good job, kid. Fuck you. Like G.E. Smith is like, well, you accorded
No, at
yourself
the beginning,
well,
G.E. Smith is like starting to count in, and Val's saying something. He's like ready to get it going, and Val introduces him, and then they go at it.
And then they do the headbutt.
But I do love the end of it, though. The end, he's like, all right, nice job, you scamp, you. You might have a future in this. You might have a future in this game.
The other thing that kept
Can't take your old
resurfacing
G.
was the Michael Jackson live.
Yes.
That kept resurfacing too. And there's There's not a good version of that anywhere. I don't think.
Nope.
I mean,
It's the same.
It's so
There's
very low
one
quality.
Yeah, there's one video version of it, and it's freaking awful.
Yeah.
I love Eddie's tone on that. I love how he starts the solo early and he plays through the whole thing. Like, you guys know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I love that. And there's one point of him where he's like, his guitar wasn't plugged in or something. He's making the motions
Right.
like plug it in or like turn it on. You know. I love that stuff.
I'm up here. Hello.
The '84. I mean, I love everything Eddie, as everybody knows, but one of my favorite eras is the '83, '84 era. Just that tone, just that raw tone, and you totally hear that within "Beat It" and that, and all that stuff,
me-
the wildlife, all that stuff.
The isolated.
The last of the original Frankie tone.
The isolated.
Oh no, he played
Beat It
1550 on.
The Beat It solo. The
Some of
isolated.
that.
Like, man, oh man, it's
I'm
ridiculous.
a big fan of that 91, 95 tone, that Ernie Ball tone. And I know it was over chorused, but still, it seemed so full. It filled the speakers. Love that tone. Fuck
Oh,
balance tone
Johnny.
is my favorite.
Johnny, play that thing that's in our messenger that I loaded up. It's a cover of something. I don't think there's a flagging possible because it's not. It's a tribute to. We should close with that and just not even say anything.
You talking about that chick?
Yes.
Oh, that's unreal.
Yes.
Strat Lady? Is that what?
Right in the feels.
I played Happy Trails for the last thing and just let it ring out.
Bombadita, bombadita, bombadita.
Oh, with the stick?
Yeah.
With the stick? Well, that's on YouTube though.
Is it?
It's on. Yeah, it's a YouTube video. So yeah, we could get in trouble playing that.
Why could we?
Because what can happen is they will see that we have 100%. The way YouTube works is that if you share videos within videos, they have the option of deleting a video that shares their video.
How about this audio?
Yeah. How about just audio?
We could probably do some audio. We could probably do the audio.
Yeah, just some audio.
Let me see.
I'll do it through mine. All right, stop playing. Anybody want to say anything?
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you to
Say
everybody
anything?
for their caring. Thank you to Eddie Van Halen.
God bless
Thank
Eddie
you,
Van Halen.
Edward. Thank you,
God
King
bless-
Edward.
God bless him.
Thank you. We
Thank
love
you, everybody who
And thank you,
actually
Johnny.
reached out,
Thank all you
reached
guys.
out to
man.
all of us.
Yeah. Thanks everyone in the chat.
So baby, dry your eyes, save all the tears you've cried. Oh, that's what dreams are made of. Oh, baby, we belong in a world that must be strong. Oh, that's what dreams are made of. And in the end, on dreams we will depend, 'cause that's what love is made of.